Good evening, Warriors, and welcome into a special edition of the R&R Sports Report. My name is Randy Isbell. With me, as always, Mr. Robert Hagan. Robert, it's draft day. Are you excited?
I am, except for one thing. That we are not in Las Vegas. We talked about this just before the show. You were there 2 weeks prior. I am a week here in just a week. I should be there. We should be there. We're watching Bellagio fountains. Wish we were in person.
Right? Absolutely. Bad timing on us. So, yeah, we are going to go through the entire first round of the NFL draft. We did this last year. We had some fun with it. We've added a little bit more production value, so more things to go wrong. Just waiting to have ESPN go through all of their opening rigmarole and announce Jacksonville's finally on the clock. Who knows when that's going to happen? We just knew the actual broadcast was starting at 5, and then, like everything else, 20 minutes later, they'll finally decide to start this thing.
Yeah, that's normally how everything happens. We haven't seen who's going to come out and greet us, whether or not they do the national anthem or what. But
I do
looking forward to it.
I do believe the national anthems and stuff they were doing just a bit ago. Obviously, we have our stream muted, watching the ESPN side of things, but I'm pretty sure that they were doing a bunch of that stuff while the people that are in attendance were there.
Yeah,
so, at least that's out of the way.
Yeah, I'm curious, this being a major city there, how many actually paid to go in and be part of this? So I'm looking forward to seeing that first swing through the crowd to really.
It looked like there was a lot of people in the main area, and they do it. It's a cool thing. Is near the Bellagio, so it's near the fountains. Like there's a stage that's on the water, so they've done a lot of really, really cool things to kind of hype this place up. Obviously, this was supposed to be the location in 2020. Everything got pushed back because COVID did that to everything. And now here we are, ready to go. So we'll just look at it real quick. Obviously, your first pick on the board is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all thought for weeks it was Aiden Hutchinson, just straight up, no questions asked. Now, all of a sudden, Trayvon Walker has been thrown out there. Equanu's been thrown out there. There's still mock drafts that say Evan Neal's going to be the first pick. Are we going to be shocked here in a few minutes, in about 20, 30 minutes when they finally start this thing?
You and I had our final draft here on Monday night as we did a show, and I think it's going to be one of the two. I still am leaning towards Hutchins from Michigan, the edge rusher. But, in our mock draft, it could be just about anybody. We have edge rushers going in the first 3 picks. So this is going to be a draft where it's a very defensive heavy opening round, I believe. We won't see a lot of moving parts as far as positional players, I don't think. So it'll be interesting, but I'm still going to put my money on Hutchinson.
Yeah, it's going to be – I think that's what this draft is so great about. Yes, we don't have that top-tier quarterback. Everyone's talking about how the quarterback class is a bit weaker this year, one of the weakest in over a decade. But it's really opened things up where different teams are going to go just for need. There's a lot of teams that want to go down in the draft, some that want to go up. So we could see a lot of movement on top of it. But, I mean, mock drafts are straight guessing work anyways, but this year even more so than anything.
Yeah, 100%, because of all the moving parts. I think the biggest storyline for me is we've had to deal with the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and I really am curious where does Houston fit in the picture? What do they want to do with their pick? Their early pick is that team we know is going to be a major overhaul. And what are they going to do? So it's going to be interesting.
So we got Roger Goodell on the stage, and we got Harry commenting, "Hi, everybody." But let's just, because live TV sucks and schedules happen. We're still waiting on somebody else. We're just going to throw Harry on in here. It was supposed to be the Broadhurst and Watkins Sports Report interrupting this whole show and making this a 4-person thing. We'll have Erik on once his schedule kind of cleans up. He's got things that popped up. But Harry, man, what's going on?
What's up, guys? By the way, Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson.
Listen,
from Michigan.
Don't make fun of my inability to say words.
Well, when you're hosting a podcast, that's kind of your most important job.
Right. No, I knew it. Like it came out of my mouth, just a jumbled mess. So it is what it is. But Roger Goodell right now on the stage. So in about 15 minutes of intros and glad handing, we will finally have Jacksonville on the clock. And you also believe it is the edge rusher from Michigan is the first pick?
We were talking about this before we got started. Yeah, I still think it's Hutchinson. And the reason I say that is because, if we're being honest, offensively, the Jaguars have a little bit more of a foundation than they do defensively. This was a defense that got roughed up badly last year, playing in an even tougher division this year in an AFC South that is much improved. I think it's going to be Hutchinson in order to try to stop the onslaught of the offensive production around them.
Oh, now we have Ice Cube coming out, so we got about an hour before the first pick. Now
today was a good day to change the channel.
Is he still making family-friendly movies?
I don't know that he's still
Daddy's
making
Daycare
movies.
or whatever. I don't remember what he's made.
I think it's Daddy Daycare, but
Well, you can see already the craziness, the funny hairdos. The Saints are in the house.
Everyone's in the house. Yeah, they have little fan sections for every team. They have them segregated,
which is unfortunate for teams that don't have a first round pick.
Right.
They're just standing there looking like a bunch of a-holes.
How about being a Dolphins or Rams fans where you don't have a second round pick?
Well, I mean, in fairness, the Dolphins have traded away the franchise and draft picks like 3 different times over the last 10 years.
Now we got Derek Carr out there. Can we just start this already, please?
Nope. We could have started this show like in another 10 minutes and still been fine.
Harry, Robert, and I had some fun a couple weeks ago with some prop bets as far as this NFL draft goes. I'll get your thoughts on a couple things. When are we going to get the first trade of this first round?
Inside of the top 10, I would say... I'll say the Giants at 5 since they have number 7.
Mm-hmm. I know they really want to move 7, but obviously 5 a bit more valuable. They could definitely move that too. Does Debo go to the Jets at 10?
No, Debo Samuel is going to go someplace where he can win.
It's not where he can choose. He's got no trade clause like Tyreek Hill did. Tyreek Hill would have been a Jet if he didn't have that.
And you see how well that worked out for the Jets. I guarantee you, Samuel, even though he said he wanted out of San Francisco, he's not going to go to a team that isn't a contender.
He has no choice.
I disagree. I'm willing to bet that he will put his foot down and block a trade.
He can, with what ability? He has no ability. He has no trade clause. Tyreek Hill had a no trade clause.
He
picked Miami.
I'm calling it right now. He's not going to the Jets.
I don't expect it either, but it's not of any of Debo's doing.
It does appear that you will lose your proverbial crap, though, if he does end up a Jet.
I would be very, very happy if Debo Samuel ended up being a Jet. So we are about, inside 9 minutes to go here. They're finally put Jacksonville on the clock. So let's talk about Jacksonville here for a minute. Obviously, they've had a lot of draft capital over the last several years. Disappointed Erik is still dealing with his stuff because Jacksonville definitely his team. They took Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne last year. Obviously, we didn't get to see Etienne at all last year with his injury. A cornerback and a defensive end 2 years ago. Josh Allen, who they just re-upped, I do believe, just before this draft. We're all in agreement it's a defensive end, and I think we're all in agreement it's Aiden Hutchinson. It's just, would we be super surprised if it's Trayvon Walker?
Oh, go
I
ahead,
don't think
Robbie.
I don't think so. I think the draft value of Hutchinson over the last 6 months, 7 months has been outstanding and huge. And I think they've already game planned. I think they've game planned to the point of this could be our future guy. And I think this is still probably the best defensive player out there, hands down.
By the way, if you are listening in or watching in on our R&R Sports Report Facebook page, I think we're going to get linked to W2M at some point. That was Eric's job. Let us know that you're watching with us and give us your thoughts. If you want to hop on at any point during this first round, as long as you have a microphone and a webcam and can keep the 4-letter words to a minimum, come on in and have some fun with us. About 7 minutes ago here with this Jacksonville pick, there's no way they trade out of this, right?
There was some speculation about it, but I really don't think it would be in their best interest to trade it away.
Yeah, I mean, this team's got to do something to help out Trevor Lawrence, but helping out Trevor Lawrence is to keep the other offense in bay and in check, and that's what they need here. I think it's a no-brainer with a defensive pick.
Yeah, you and I, like you said, Robert, had 2 defensive ends as our first 3 picks were defensive ends.
Right.
It's just which one do you want to pick is the question. I've also seen a lot of talk of Jermaine Johnson, who we ended up giving to your team at 14, being a possible top 5 pick as well. Again, that's what I love about this year's draft. None of us know. We can all make up our mocks and talk about what we want to see happen or what we think is going to happen. None of us know. And that's also the thing with mock drafts. You miss one, the domino effect just destroys the rest of your draft. But it's like an NCAA bracket, I think. It's just you fill it out just to rip it up at the end. Right, Harry?
Well, my bracket was filled out with Kansas as the national champion, so I'd say I was pretty happy with it.
I don't know if you saw Randy's pick for the women's side.
My bracket was solid.
It was major solid. So, just a second ago, showing a picture in Trayvon Walker's crib. I don't see it. How many of players have they commented or said? How many of the players are in the green room, or is everybody at home this year again?
Usually,
go ahead, Eric.
Usually they have anywhere from 10 to 15 players at the draft inside of the ESPN green room.
Yeah, when they were doing all the national anthems and stuff during the pre-show, they had all the players that are there live out on the stage, and I would have said around 20 are there. So this is looking like back to normal finally as far as drafts go. So we're still waiting. Oh, the pick is in, so they did not trade it. So that is very, very good news. And now it is just whether or not it is Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker or an offensive lineman, or we'll see.
Apparently, we've gone back to Susie Colbert.
It takes a little bit to get the name on the jersey. It's a whole production.
Well,
God, Tony Khan is there. Boo. Tony Khan wearing one of his normal suits that you see him wearing in AEW.
Fun fact, Tony Khan just did a line of cocaine right before the draft.
I guarantee it. While trying to write his show.
Write it as he does right before he goes out on air to make another major announcement.
Erik, good timing, sir.
Would have been better timing had I not deal with, roosters and needing to make angry calls to my credit union. Oh, no, the roosters never left.
You basically adopted a rooster at this point.
Well, first of all, I did not adopt a rooster or a chicken. If I had it my way, that would be dinner for about a week.
Beautiful. All right, Erik.
They say he's cocky, and he says what? It's not bragging. Never mind.
Erik, we need your decision here. The pick is in. Your team has made their decision. What's the name that they say?
I am hoping and praying, and whatever wisdom is in there, it's Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. If you want me to have any faith in this organization for at any point in the 2022 season, I know, Harry, it's a long shot.
Here it goes. Goodell walking out there.
Just in the history of tradition. Boo.
I love that they put the Rams in the middle, the front row middle. You guys don't even pick for 2 days.
Yeah, but it's one of the perks of being the Super Bowl champs, man.
It is Trayvon Walker is your first pick. So the odds makers, they made that big flip. They were right. Trayvon Walker, defensive lineman from Georgia, the junior. Erik, I know you wanted Hutchinson. Are you okay with Walker?
I'm okay. You still have that little bit of speed going on around the outside, and especially with how we're continuing to shape the defense, especially with Josh Allen's option, I'm okay with another somewhat local boy.
Well, here's the other thing, too, that we kind of saw. If you want to pull up the Jaguars draft card, Randy, you'll notice Chasson, the defensive end, was taken just 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an opportunity to improve the other part of that defensive line as well.
Absolutely. That's why overall, I'm really okay with this. I can't complain too much.
And he's a guy that knows how to win, too, as Georgia's coming off of winning a national championship this past year.
Knowing how to win, but actually winning in this organization, let's be realistic.
I mean, granted, hey, at least you guys have gotten rid of your Urban Meyer problem.
Now, if we could just get rid of the Mark Lamping problem, we'd really be
Lions
solid.
pick is in already.
Well, of course.
Well, it's got to be Hutchinson. They have to be jumping up and down the moment that they are going to get their home state boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%. And you can't be mad with Trayvon Walker at all. I mean, he has held a great defense there for Georgia over the past 2 years, especially with the beef and the linemen that are there and how much they rotate their guys in and out. He's fresh a lot of the time. So it is a huge thing. So, I think we're happy either direction with that one.
Oh, yeah. There's no way Michigan isn't taking Hutchinson here.
Of course not. I mean, this is a golden pick that fell into their lap.
And just as importantly for them, too, with regards to Hutchinson, this is them getting the runner-up to the Heisman Trophy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that, because they showed that on his graphic on ESPN at the start of the draft. I think it was right before they went live at the end of the pre-show when they were interviewing Hutchinson. I think it was Kuiper that was interviewing him. And they mentioned the fact that he finishes the runner-up for the Heisman, which I think is the highest any defensive player has finished in the Heisman since it was won by the cornerback a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I would not surprise me if that's true. I just want to say, give full credit to the Detroit Lions for not wasting our time.
Mm-hmm. Saved us
They
a
had
solid
10 minutes
10
to
minutes.
waste, and a lot of teams are like, "Oh, we know our pick, but we're just going to wait and see what happens." Nope, Detroit.
Blonde Lions
Instant.
cheerleader's kind of cute.
Now we just got to wait for Goodell once again to come on
Boo.
And of course, they focus on the guy in the fake blue wig.
out. Of course.
You leave that man's afro alone, Erik.
All I'm saying is I just have to have mine fully out and dye it the proper color. Chicks dig the real big hair. All right, now, here we go.
All right, we all know.
Yeah. You might as well get the player card ready over there, Randy.
I got it loaded. Shocker, it is Aiden Hutchinson. Defensive end out of Michigan. No surprise.
Can we go back to Trayvon Walker's card for a quick second here?
Sure.
Erik, I think this is something that you undervalued.
Which particular bit?
There you go.
There you go.
Look at the very bottom thing in the NFL Combine there. That's a 275-pound defensive lineman running a 4.5 40.
Well, I literally said that speed coming around from the outside. 4.5 at that size is no joke.
4.5 at any size is no joke, especially when wide receivers are usually running 4.2s and 4.3s.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong.
So, yeah, Hutchinson, 62 tackles, 14 sacks, 2 forced fumbles last year. Again, like they talked about on ESPN, the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy voting last year, and a Michigan team that made it all the way to the national semifinals where they were defeated by Bama, I believe.
Was it Bama?
I'm pretty sure they lost to Bama and Georgia beat Notre Dame. If memory serves.
That was a couple months ago. I don't remember. All right, so Detroit gave us no time. Let's see what the Houston Texans do.
The Houston dumpster fires?
That is my favorite. Is PFF on their mock draft simulator when they put possessions needed for Houston said every position. Houston did not have a first-round pick the last 2 years. Last person they put, Titus Howard in 2019.
Traded.
Go ahead.
Real quick. The reason they didn't have a pick the last 2 years is because of the trade with Miami for Kenny Stills and the offensive lineman whose name is escaping me. Oh, God. Laramie Tunsil.
No, that does make sense. So, Robert, again, you and I picked 3 straight defensive ends to go at the start of this draft. Harry, Erik, are we correct in this assumption, or do you think they go somewhere else?
I think Houston does something ridiculous.
I mean, the more sensible thing would be to go Thibodeau, but we don't know who's really running the show in Houston right now. So this is an entirely way out there wild card.
Thibodeau's the kid from Oregon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kalon or something, I think it is.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep. That's it, yeah.
And the pick is in.
I think you're a little
You're going quick. What is happening here?
Well, it's the fact that it's like, hey, we're in prime time. We have all of this already going on. People are watching us anyways.
No, they're in Vegas. They want to go play. So the quicker they get the business done, the quicker they can make some money to pay for these guys. So
it is only less than 6:30 local time there. There's plenty of time to gamble still available after this draft is over.
That's 5:30 over there.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
Vegas is Pacific
time. Yeah,
I thought Vegas was Mountain. My bad.
Yeah, nope. I made the same mistake because when I drove down there, I go into Mountain and then out of Mountain, and it messed me up.
All right.
So Harry, where are we going here? Where do you think they go?
Hey,
how's it going?
I think it's going to be something ridiculous. I'm calling it's going to be a quarter. I wouldn't be surprised to see this. I would not be surprised to see this be Malik Willis.
Oh man, that would blow everything up.
No disrespect to Malik, but come on. So you're basically saying they would have no faith in Davis Mills.
I have no faith in Davis Mills.
And listen, if they don't go defensive line with one of the best defensive line guys left here, I think they go Evan Neal. They have to. If they don't go defense, they go offensive lineman and sneak him out of the hands of the Giants and pick number 5.
You guys understand there's only one name I do not want to hear. There's only one.
No sauce yet, right?
Yes, we are not ready for the sauce.
Gardner from Cincinnati?
Yes. He's a Jet, man. That's all I want. I want the sauce. So just don't take sauce.
But what if the Jets don't like sauce?
Oh, they'll just disappoint me as they always do.
Erik, why are you not wearing your Jaguars gear?
Well, because I would have to dig for my Jaguars shirt, and my Jaguars shirt has the old logo, and we've already had issues with copyright stuff, so...
Erik trying not to get us another strike here. That's
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Although at this point, I'm not sure what it matters. Dun, dun,
you're not even on. We haven't gotten you on the W2 right now. You're all on our stuff. That guy has the best seat in the house. The cameraman is just by himself in that booth. I love it.
Houston's pick is in. They're making the announcement now. Here comes
All
Goodell.
right, here we go.
Boo.
No sauce. No sauce.
Wait for it.
I wish I could read lips. Derek Stingley. I'm
Whoa.
down for
Wow. Okay.
I got to be honest. I don't hate this pick, though.
I'm not saying
It's
it's
a little
terrible, but it's surprising.
It's a
for
little
Stingley.
Excuse me.
Derek Stingley, quarterback, LSU junior. Had the Liz Frank injury. Fantastic talent. I know a lot of people thought he was the best cornerback in this draft. Makes me extremely happy because now the Jets won't take him. Because I want the sauce. It's the Jets' turn.
Just as importantly here, let's also not forget the pedigree as well. Second generation NFL talent. His father played in the NFL too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he was easily top 10 pick out of there. Maybe it's a little bit more of a move because Randy, you and I had him going to the Giants at that pick, but that might even lean a little bit more for the Giants to move that pick and be that first trade like Harry was talking about.
Well, I do think that the Giants could still get Neal at 5.
I think they Detroit was extremely fast with putting in their pick when Hutchinson dropped to them. I think the Giants would go just as quickly as Evan Neal was still there at 5.
Oh, of course.
All right, Randy, you guys are on the clock. What are you hoping for here? Aiden Gardner?
Give me the sauce, man. That's all I want. We need the next Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis is announcing the Jets pick in the second round. We need the next Revis. We need Sauce Island.
No. First of all, no, I can't even make a good Thousand Island joke. That just doesn't work.
He needs the next cornerback that's going to get burned by Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs deep.
No. We need the Diggs stopper.
Good luck with that.
Try to run through the sauce, man.
Look, not everybody can pull off, 9-6 wins against the Bills, okay? The Jets just aren't ready yet.
Again.
I mean, you're the one saying, hey, do this and stop this guy. I mean, we did. We have the superior Josh Allen. That's that.
The Jets had done, obviously Zach Wilson, which I know Harry was not a big fan of.
I still don't think it's a good pick. I honestly think the dude's going to be a bust.
We will still see. Got to give him a weapon. I'm hoping at 10 as far as the Jets go. You need more receivers there.
It's a pretty
couple
heavy
offensive linemen.
I was just going to say it's a pretty heavy wide receiver class in this draft, so that I wouldn't be surprised to see you guys go for somebody weaponish for Wilson there.
Yeah, that'd be the goal. Obviously, Quentin Williams in 2019. Robert, where are we going? Where are the Jets going to go?
I would love to see your guy get there, but they're also in need for edge too, according to CBS and what they've got. They need a corner. They need an edge. They need receiver. I see a weapon going, like you were saying, it's going to be a receiver in the later pick. I think they go defense. I wouldn't be so shocked if they don't take Sauce and they go with Thibodeau.
I think I'm going to side with Robert here. I think it's going to be Thibodeau.
I mean, with a Thibodeau being out there, like I said, the Jets may not like the sauce.
Yeah, and I'm with Zach, and we'll have Zach on here shortly. He's an Atlanta fan, so we'll have him on here for getting ready for the Falcons pick here in a few picks down the road. The pick is in, so they did not trade it. I'm expecting if they do trade one, it'll be 10. But I also don't expect them to make any trades. I honestly don't expect any trades in this top 10 because the draft capital is just so high that I don't think a lot of teams really want to mess
Not
with
to
that.
mention there's so many unknowns in this draft too. Like last year we knew it was going to be Lawrence. A couple of years prior we knew it was going to be the quarterback to
Joe Burrow
to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So you had those pretty much established commodities that you knew it was going to be this guy here, this guy here. This year, like we talked about, it flipped from Hutchinson to Walker just in time for the number 1 overall pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going like a cascade effect for teams going down the draft so far. Like I don't think most people expected Stingley at 3 either.
Right. We definitely did not. And it's the thing with the quarterbacks too. There's no quarterback you really want to jump up into the top 10 for. I mean, some mocks have them in the top 10. Robert and I threw him in there just because you get so used to quarterbacks going that high.
I think
they can also go in like 15.
Yeah, I think the highest quarterback will be Willis, and he'll probably go around 8th or 9th.
Yeah, we could see the Jets go Neal here. I mean, that's not terrible either.
I mean, honestly, I don't even see a Willis going as high as 10 or 15. It's probably not going to be into the late teens or around 20.
What a sad stat that they just throw. That the 2 worst records over the last few years are the Jets and the Giants.
You mean the 2 non-New York football teams?
Right.
Gotcha.
All right.
This is what happens when
you guys talk amongst yourselves. I have to focus.
This is what happens when you play in Jersey.
Well, I mean, come on. You got to give some love to the Meadowlands. It's not entirely as swampy as it once
Erik
was.
Bryan wants you to check your Discord.
Apparently, there was a need to put him on air.
Well, this is different level, standards and practices and things.
I'm really nervous right now.
Randy,
there are several picks I'd be totally fine with, but
can we send Randy full screen for this pick?
This was the longest time. I know they have to pay the bills and let them have it, but
they're making me wait.
Of course, you have to have the Jets have some sort of extra commercial availability.
Boo! Goodell's walking out now.
Did you get ahead of us?
He peeked out of the side of the stage and then went back.
Did. Like the moment you said it, he was walking out. I was just teasing. I'm just nervous, man.
That's okay. Yeah, put the Jets select.
I don't have this problem at 25. I know we're going to take the best player available.
There's your sauce.
Yes.
Extra order of sauce.
Give us the sauce, baby. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, man, I'm so happy. Bills are screwed now. No, it's not true. But Sauce Gardner, how about no touchdowns given up in his entire college career?
4.4 on the 40 as well, which is good speed for a corner.
I'll get that pick is in out of Eric's face.
So let's say, over under week 3 before he gets burned for his first score.
He just went the wrong way on the
week 1 because Randy just gave him the announcer's jinx.
Can we just wait until we see who the Jets play in week 1, please?
Oh, yeah, that is right. We have the schedule reveal in May. What is it, May 12th, I think?
It's all over the damn place.
It is everywhere.
We're going to get one tonight. We're going to learn the first Amazon game in week 2.
I feel like they should announce the season opener here.
You would think. But Amazon, I'm sure, paid a lot of money.
I would imagine so. You guys want to do a draft schedule release episode?
Unfortunately, that is right in the middle of all the NEI stuff, so we will not be able to.
Erik, do you want to do a schedule released episode?
I think we can do one.
Cool. Home base to be decided or whatever. Maybe, I don't know.
All right, so the Giants are on the board. They got Tony last year, and now they're having issues with him. Where do you think they go here?
Evan Neal.
Yeah. I'm surprised the pick's not in yet.
Again, leave it to the Jersey teams to go ahead and take their sweet time. But, I mean, if you're talking with Lyman and everything, you would really have to go Neal. I mean, you've got your problems with Tony. You're having potential issues with Daniel Jones. You need some sort of a safe building pick to go around.
Oh, Jones is not the answer. I think that has been pretty much made clear these last 2 seasons.
Well, it's like Randy and I talked the other day. I think they're giving Jones one more year and they've got to give him a little bit of help. If he can't prove himself this year with getting Neal, which I believe this is where Randy and I believe this is where he's going to go. If he doesn't succeed here, look for him to be on the way out, because you look at the next year draft class and the quarterbacks for the next year's draft classes are a little bit better than what we've got here.
All right, we're going to throw in Zach Swan here. Like I said, a big Atlanta fan. Dude, we got the sauce. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Sauce Island.
Yeah, see? Zach's in it. Zach knows.
We're saying, I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to be the number one pick, like talent-wise, so that's a good pickup for them, and it makes sense that they didn't go offensive lineman since that's what they've been doing, but I still thought Neal should go in the top 4.
Are you in agreement with the 4 of us that Evan Neal has to be the one that's being picked here?
I would say with who's off the board right now, yeah. It makes the most sense to go next with him.
Well, Sauce is getting his exercise in as
He went the wrong way.
he doesn't know where he is going on the stage. He's running in the back in the green room.
Yeah, that was a replay of him getting lost. It was pretty fun.
That's fun. Crazy.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about Vegas, the casino's designed to, confuse you and everything on purpose. So,
Man, when you put the pick is in with 5 people, good grief, does it make us small?
It's crazy how fast this has been going.
I know. I love it. We did this last year, and I swear we were still only on pick 2 at this point.
No, 100%. We were still only on pick 2 at this point last year.
Oh, I was prepared for this to go until like 11 o'clock tonight, and I think we're going to be...
We were anticipating midnight Eastern.
because I mean, yeah, worst case scenario, you would have figured about 1:30, so midnight would have been more feasible. But no, now we're already 5 picks in, so now you're starting to get the artificial drama of waiting for him to step out there.
Yeah, after you walk out so many times, at what point do you just have a seat put right out to the stage to sit down on like a dumbass?
Just have his house set up that he had that one
Yeah,
year.
have the
And just have him
recliner
sit
with the
there whole time.
M&Ms.
Yeah. Let them bring the pick. Have a drone come in with the pick. Something.
Did you guys see the stat that just aired on ESPN on the draft coverage there?
I missed
They
it.
showed the 4 players that had just gotten selected, and then pointed out second time in NFL history that 4 defensive players have been the top 4 picks in NFL draft history. The only other time it happened was 1991.
But Randy and I talked about this over the last couple of weeks on our show, and it's that this is probably the strongest defensive draft class there has been in a
very
long time.
Absolutely.
And so I think
at least depth wise, for sure.
right.
The other commonality here is that almost every team in the top 9 or 8, I should say, because there are multiple teams that cover those picks, they all have the same needs. Every team, the bottom 8 teams all need a defensive end, and they all need a cornerback. So
Giants pick is in, and who's the dude in the suit?
He's their pick.
Knowing the Giants, that wouldn't surprise me.
No,
Playing the
Haley, defense
offensive
wins
line.
championships. Listen, we're going to get it right. Defense wins championships.
You already corrected me about a title belt
Yes.
the other day.
Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
Yeah. And people win championships, and they wear belts to hold up their pants.
All right, Vince McMahon.
Yes.
Randy corrected me. I have to do it to the correct side. He corrected me the other day because I said championship.
Calm
belt.
down, dude, and make the damn pick.
Yes, we know your height. Yes, it's Vegas.
Right.
Yes, you're too young to do anything. Come back in a few years.
We don't know who this kid is.
The Giants
so
are paying.
stoked.
The Giants are paying for an escort for this kid later.
Oh, Thibodeau.
Okay. It's not bad.
I am very
Interesting for their needs, but not bad.
I am very curious to hear if he actually flubbed the pronunciation of this guy's name.
Right.
we have this muted so we can't tell. I had a hard time pronouncing it earlier.
Well, you got to remember the Cajun O, Thibodeau.
It wasn't the last name I had problems with.
I think I told Brandy this. The town just east of where my wife is from is Thibodaux, Louisiana. So this is an easy name for a southern lady to say. So,
all right, Zach. So there's 2 picks before the Atlanta Falcons.
Your wife was born.
Who are you trying to avoid?
As long as they don't take a quarterback, they're going to make the right choice. The top 8 is such a wash on talent this year. So if you get someone in the top 8, you made the right choice. If they make a stretch on maybe like a Drake at wide receiver or a quarterback, they're doing the wrong thing. Thibodeau is someone I thought would drop to us. So that's actually unfortunate. I knew at either 4 or 5, the draft would really start for us because someone's going to drop. Say Neal drops. We have 5 first rounders on our offensive line, and our offensive line is still bad. So we would replace one of them happily. So if Neal drops, we'll take him. There's probably 2 other left tackles we would take in that spot. But our biggest need is defensive end. So we just lost that on the top 3.
All right. So I have a 2-parter for you here. One with you guys just trading Matt Ryan to Indianapolis. Would you really be that surprised if this pick is Malik Willis?
I wouldn't be surprised, especially because he's a Atlanta guy, but I think you can trade down and still get him. So I don't think we stay at 8 and take him.
Yeah, and
I also
Carolina. Hold on, Carolina
Okay.
right now on the clock. This is really the first spot where I thought a quarterback could go. We threw him in our mock just for fun because we knew our mock was going to be wrong. I don't expect it to be.
Well,
but this is like the first pick where I was like, possible.
So you know whose opinion I want about Carolina is actually Zach's because this is a division rival for him.
Yeah, the thing is they're probably the only team that's in this like top group that have different needs. So you brought that up earlier where I think a lot of other people either wanted a corner or a defensive end. I think they could go quarterback. I think they could be a team that takes a stretch on a wide receiver. The only 2 corners they would have taken are already gone. So I would actually expect them to want to trade out of this spot. But I think it's going to be really hard to trade out of the top 10 this year. Yeah. But I think that's what they want.
And you still have the 2 best offensive linemen on the board to choose from.
ESPN potentially, real quick, ESPN potentially tipping things, showing Malik Willis in the green room as Carolina's draft room is being shown.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's Neal or... they're gonna reach on a quarterback. So,
right. We do have a question in the chat. Aiden Frary asked, "How do you guys feel about the Chargers' defense? They made a lot of offensive free agent moves this year. What do we think of the defense?" Right? Oh yeah, they got
They got the corner from the Patriots.
Gilmore.
Yeah,
was it Gilmore? I thought they got the.
I think Khalil Mack was the one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, Mack, I know that they came in, and that's going to be great along their line.
They picked up J.C. Jackson. They also have Sebastian Joseph Day. Yeah, Sebastian Joseph Day. They do lose a little bit, but they gain with Khalil Mack. I think they end up going to go offense. I know we've got a little bit to go there, Aiden, but it's still decent. Is it not? I don't see it being a top tier defense right now. But, this is, like we've said a few times, this is a very draft-heavy defensive class. So anything's possible to fall down to the Chargers.
And to be fair, the Chargers could have a fantastic defense. The offenses that they're going to have to face in that division this year are going to make it look not as desirable right now.
I think it's the most expensive defense now in the NFL after the moves they made this offseason.
All right. So the pick is in. So
don't know if that means it's the best. They're going to draft a receiver in the first round, though. I would expect the Chargers maybe to reach on like John Dotson from Penn State. That's a good fit for him.
Harry's over there throwing in gang signs.
MW Malik Willis. I think ESPN tipped the hand.
I don't know. I mean, that could have been a sign for anything, but I mean,
well, you got to consider the Darno experiment failed at this point.
Well, and that's the
Lightly.
thing. Do they really consider it failed, or were they willing to give it one more season? If they do consider it failed, then yes, it's
they brought back Cam Newton last year. I'm pretty sure the Darno ship has sailed in Carolina.
Yeah, and they saw how bad Newton was, and it's like, okay, we need someone who can still throw touchdowns. At least Darnold can do that.
Well, I think before McCaffrey got hurt, Sam Darnold was like 4-0 or 4-1. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had a little faith left in him.
I've heard talk that they might try to move McCaffrey.
Given how injury prone he is, I can see that now.
Has he gotten his second contract yet? No. It's smart to get those 4 years, do a 1 year extension, and then get rid of a guy. I don't care how talented they are. If they're a running back, I don't give them a second contract, so I understand that. Let someone else overpay somebody for their second contract.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised
if they did it.
Yeah, we've talked so many times that he has become basically the guy to go to there. So giving him a weapon like Willis, it would be a very smart thing. Not Willis falling to the Falcons, where I think he would be a better fit. Why wouldn't you take a guy like him to get Sam Darnold a little bit more opportunity to spread the ball around, and then you see McCaffrey's not getting hurt, and he can stay a little bit healthier instead of touching the ball 30 plus times to almost 40 times.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking, if you have a healthy McCaffrey, and even at those touches, are you still getting the 1,000 potential he had? No. But someone who can give you, like, say, 700, yes, that's a very valuable asset in a Sam Darnold-led offense.
It does look like McCaffrey signed a 4-year deal back in 2020.
Okay, they extended him early.
Yeah.
So
4 years,
if that's the
$64
case,
million back then.
Yeah, there was some crazy stat that I saw last week in regards to fantasy where, he only played, 5 games the entire season, and he still finished in the top 40 running backs for fantasy football. He actually only finished one spot behind Chuba Hubbard, who's the guy who played the majority of the snaps ahead of him. But, yeah, he's insane.
Well, it's not going to be Kenny Pickett. He does not look super excited.
And is Aquanu not there? Is that the reason they're not showing him? Because he was another left tackle who could have easily been the first pick of the draft.
Yeah, there's a good chance that he's not. Because, like I said, I want to say there was about 20 people I saw on the stage during the pre-show when they brought them all out. So, but we will see here with Carolina.
Going into the draft, I thought Aquanu, Thibodeau, and Sauce were probably the 3 most talented players in the draft. I don't understand how Thibodeau didn't get the love at the defensive end, but
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, he is there. Aquanu is there, and he got picked.
Oh, okay, how about that? See, like I said,
yeah,
what they show on ESPN, that could just be not tipping their hand for a team going to draft him, but pulling like they did with an Aaron Rodgers, focusing on him the farther and farther he drops.
Well, they're trying to make a story, right? Because even if he does drop, did he really drop, or is it the way that they produce the show, right? Like, exactly. He's not considered a top 18 player, but they're going to show him all the way until he goes, like it's some snub.
Yeah.
But realistically, yeah.
Yeah, and they even had the statistics. It's like 98% of possible probability that they're either he or 2 gloves himself, Pickett, are available at 11, and even at 20, 74%. So
another thing with the quarterback position. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you guys are surprised that Aquanu went before Neal.
No. So all the coverage that I saw over the last 2 weeks was saying a lot of people are getting scared of Neal's health concerns. Not that he had a bunch of injuries, but playing in the SEC, playing at Alabama, he's just going to be a more banged up product coming into the NFL.
One big thing here with the Giants having their second pick, now they had the 5th pick and the 7th pick. Robert, do you think that they waited on an offensive lineman, let Carolina make whatever decision they were going to make, and then they were just going to take the next best available as far as linemen go?
I think maybe so. It's just You and I talked a bunch over the last couple of weeks. It's just a crapshoot of where these guys are looking at, and what we see as the most important thing from the outside. There's so much more deep inside. Okay, is this guy going to be a great guy to come in to be a talented guy to eventually take over a role model position, or some guy to be the future there? And so, a lot of these guys that are doing those kind of things have a little bit better insight than we do. But I'm not shocked about this, but I just don't understand why the weapon wasn't the first play.
If you have both these left tackles as 1 and 1A, then, and one of them's going to be there, then yeah, you can wait till the second one of your picks. Where I think the Jets are doing something a little different, where they just know one of the best skill players will be there for their second one. I think the Giants are going foundation with their 2 picks, so they're going to go offensive and defensive line. The Jets kind of already have the offensive line taken, so they can have a little more fun with their second pick.
Yeah, the pressure's off for the Jets. I'm happy. I don't care.
Because I mean, you got your guy, and let's face it, with the Jets, as far as their latest building, they're taking an entirely different approach. Whereas the Giants, as you say, focusing more inside on the trenches, what they need to do to try to sort out how things are going to go for Daniel Jones and the like. The Jets are like, okay, we know all these spots to where we're terrible. Let's build out first.
All right, so the Giants pick is in. That means, Zach, your team is on the clock. We just wait for the slow build of announcing this pick. But so everyone, real quick, just I say Evan Neal is going here. Anyone disagree or have a different name there that they would think's going in this position?
I'm with you. I think it's got to be Neal.
They went defense. They went defense pick before. Yeah, so.
I don't think they go wide receiver. I know because he ran a slow 40 time, people aren't super stoked on Kyle Hamilton, but he's easily the best safety or defensive back in general in this draft. So I just don't know if that's a huge concern for the Giants right now.
Well, Randy, so far, taking a look at our draft, mock draft that we did the other day, we still have, we've got one right, but most of them have all stayed so far in the top 10. We've so far picked every one of them in the top side.
You know what? We only got one pick right in our mock draft, but it was the right one. All right. So now the Giants out here. There he comes. Hi, buddy. Roger Goodell slowly making his way. At least it's not this long ass entrance way.
He's milking it at this point.
Oh yeah. At least we don't have that yelling kid again. Oh, Evan
There
Neal.
it is.
There it is. All right. Makes sense. I think that's a good move by the Giants. Like Zach said, the 2 best offensive linemen, if you had them close together, just let Carolina take one. Make sure you get another great player, and then get the other person on the next way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard to be upset with the Giants draft after this is all said and done.
Yeah, it's very good first 2 picks for sure. You get Thibodeau and then Evan Neal. Evan Neal, 337 pounds at the combine. He's a big boy. He can play left tackle, left guard, wherever you need to put him. He's going to be a force. And like was said earlier, there's injury concerns always for any of these offensive linemen, especially for somebody that big. The Jets know with Becton, but very good talent. Brian checked Discord again, apparently.
Yeah, so this puts us in an interesting spot, because I assumed going into this, I did have the first 3 on my draft correct, and I've been wrong on everyone since then. I thought either the Jets or Giants would take a reach on somebody, opening up either one of the top 3 ends or the top 2 tackles does. None of that happened. So 2 best corners are gone, 2 best tackles are gone, 3 best ends are gone. They might actually just go skill position at this point, because even though their biggest need is defensive end, you're going to reach on somebody at this point. I don't really like Johnson from Florida State, so I hope that's not their move. And then I hope it's not a quarterback. So I think it's Drake or London at this point, or Drake or Wilson, at this point.
Good evening, afternoon, whenever you happen to be listening, and welcome as the W2M Network presents the Sports Reporters Draft Special here in association with the R&R Sports Report from KLCZ Radio. I am your host of the BWSR, the Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report.
Sports in black and white.
My name is Harry Broadhurst. Joining me as per usual, the voice you just heard is Erik Watkins. In addition, we are also joined by Randy Isbell and Robert Hagan of the R&R Sports Report.
Hello. We're finally live everywhere.
And Randy has a very special guest joining us currently as well, as his team is currently on the clock. Randy, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest?
Yeah, Mr. Zach Swan on the Time Spent Poorly sports show that I haven't seen in months, but he's still around.
Yeah, we'll be back one day.
Right.
Currently on hiatus.
It's only basketball season. No one cares about basketball.
Well, I care about basketball, but I can't get the other two to be on board.
In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast listening services: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox, Overcast. Rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify. Make sure you guys check the link to the Discord below. And you can also see us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook in video format. Everywhere but Twitch is W2M Network. Twitch is W2M Net. Randy, the floor is yours once again, sir.
All right, I'm going to take the floor, give it right to our Falcons fan. Zach, I need a name. I know you've been saying, skill player. I need a name. What name is going to be on this card?
So I do think it's. Oh man, I'm torn between the 2 wide receivers. Actually, you're putting me on the spot. I would prefer neither of them. If that's it's gonna be Drake from USC. I think it's in. If it's a quarterback, that's the only way I'll be upset.
Randy and I have Drake going to the
Malik Willis,
Washington Commanders. I think it might be Malik Willis there.
If it's Garrett Wilson, I won't be surprised, but I would juggle those 2 wide receivers here. I think their biggest need was hands down being the worst pass rushing defense in the league last year. I think the obvious need is defensive end, but it's just not there anymore. If Thibodeau drops, that's an easy pick. Well, he didn't drop.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson from Florida State, I don't know.
Did you see the thing from TSN about the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL, and Atlanta's is ranked as the worst in the NFL currently?
It's not the worst in the NFL. It's the worst in NFL history. It is the worst wide receiver core that has ever existed.
It looks pretty freaking garbage.
It's worse than the Alabama. It's worse than the University of Alabama receiving core, which is about to lose 2 players in the first 3 rounds of this draft. Whoever's left on that Alabama receiving core is better than our receiving core.
I mean, you're not entirely that far off. So,
all right, now we get Zach's reaction. Do they take a wide receiver?
Does he break everything he owns when it's Malik Willis?
The mic is yours there, sir.
So Drake London, wide receiver out of USC. Zach nailed it perfectly. Look at that. This is why we bring on fans of teams.
Yeah. That's locked in. I've gotten 4 of the top 8 now. I was wrong with 4, 5, 6, and 7, but I got 1, 2, 3, and 8.
Well, now the Seattle Seahawks are on the board after trading Russell Wilson away. They were going to be the 10th pick, but they gave it to the Jets and then had to get out in front of the Jets, apparently. Where do we think they go here? Here's Drake London stuff first. Erik, where do you think Seattle goes?
This is.
I have a thought.
I'm kind of stumped on this one. is more what Seattle need is what I'm thinking.
I tell
They
you
need a
what,
lot.
they
Yeah,
need
they
a lot
do.
too. They got rid of a lot. Now that offensive linemen have kind of gone, no quarterback off yet. I think we see our first quarterback off at this pick.
Oh, I don't think Seahawks fans would be very happy with that.
No, especially with how they just got everything settled the last couple of years for with Russell Wilson in that situation. It would sow seeds of distrust and potential regime change on the field, if you will. And I don't think Seahawks fans would be too happy with that news.
Out of curiosity, who is the starting quarterback currently in Seattle now that Wilson's a Bronco?
Drew Lock.
Geno Smith. It'll probably be one of the
Not
two.
Geno Smith. Stop it.
Could it be Geno Smith? I have fond
It's going
memories
to be
of
one
him.
of them.
No, he played last year and was terrible.
Yes,
I have
he was
fond-
terrible.
I have fond memories of Rex Ryan trolling the hell out of the Jets about Geno Smith.
It's not going to be Geno. I mean, it's Drew Lock right now. Do they trade for Baker Mayfield? That would make me so happy.
No.
So happy. But
No.
it's not going to happen.
Who was it in Carolina that? Apologies, my microwave was going off in the background. Who was it in Carolina that tweeted that they didn't want Baker on the team?
Probably all of the team.
I mean, you're probably not.
It probably got retweeted by all of them.
Besides, I don't know if the Progressive is ready to make the commercials of him moving just yet.
I just remembered the Jets are next again.
Mm-hmm. You look at what the Seahawks, according to a lot of these, say they need quarterback, they need offensive line, defense. And losing Bobby Wagner, losing DJ Reed, they could go any which way. I honestly think they need something to spark back in Seattle. So I would think you're going to look for a playmaker or somebody that's going to be offensive wise there.
Yeah, now we definitely get into those picks that they could go 7 different directions, and you would not be that surprised.
So I think that Seattle could take a huge stretch on Cross. I guess it's not a huge stretch. They need a lineman, and he's probably only like 4 or 5 back on boards. Otherwise, they're going defense. So it's Hamilton or Johnson. They're either going with the safety or the defensive end. I don't have them picking a quarterback. I don't have anyone anytime soon picking a quarterback.
Anybody surprised we have yet to see a trade?
No. I mean, because you had a lot of teams really build back into the draft, late day 2, day 3 draft capital to kind of lock in these, especially these first 10 picks. So a lot of any subsequent trades will probably be more on day 2 as things shift.
Harry, do the Jets trade pick 10? I caught him eating. Whoops. See, Harry does not. Hold on. Harry does not eat for the whole first hour of this broadcast. We finally start live streaming on W2M Network as well, and then he has to get his bid in.
How many times do we have to say eating on air is a W2M Network gimmick exclusive, not R&R? We don't do that there.
We lost there. All right. Erik, do the Jets trade 10?
I don't think they do. I don't know where they would necessarily go with 10, but I don't see them trading it.
There's one name. Debo. That's the only trade. It's if it happens. I don't expect it to happen. But if it happens, it's going to be at 10 for Debo Samuels.
I don't know why you trade, though, when you can just take Garrett Wilson. Why trade for a receiver that you have to pay when you can get a wide receiver who might give you instant production for a much cheaper price?
Because Debo's been insane.
Right.
That is the perfect. Debo would be great for Wilson of just dumping off to him and let him get 40 yards and or go deep. The Seattle Seahawks pick is in.
I just think receivers provide value so much faster than they used to.
That's very true.
Since that's the case, you're always going to take a skill person on the cheap instead of trading for someone else, you're going to have to pay.
All right, so I'm going to say Jermaine Johnson is going to be this pick right here. It's going to make Robert really sad because that's where he wants Baltimore to go. But Robert, give me a name.
I think we see our first quarterback come off. I'm going to stick with Willis.
Erik?
If we do see a quarterback, I think it'll be a real surprise, and they go Kenny Pickett.
Harry? Harry's muted.
You're muted.
One of his other gimmicks.
We've lost Harry's audio somewhere. I don't know where it went, but he has gone speechless.
Okay, it's still we see you, but we still don't. Yeah, it's still nothing.
Yeah, Harry, I guess if you want to do what we did last time and leave and come back, I guess. Zach, we need a name.
I got Cross going.
Yeah. I think that's Robert, where did we go in the mock? You had the Seattle pick in our mock.
We went with Ikanu, and he's already gone.
So Cross would be fine. When I talked to our buddy Rustin Greer a couple of days ago, he wanted Cross. So we will see where they end up going. We could have done a voiceover for Harry, I guess, and he was talking so much I could have just covered my mouth and talked for him.
Stolen some sound bites from earlier,
but that's the point. You said yourself you would know how to read lips, so it would have been just like another bad lip reading.
For some reason, the pick is in thing. There we go. Try again, Harry.
Can you hear me now?
There he is.
Hey.
All right, who's the pick?
I'm saying it's either going to be a wide receiver or a cornerback.
You don't want to just give us a name and be cool like that?
No, I do not. I'm in the
fair. I got nothing.
As Erik said, eating on air is a W2M network exclusive, and I have not eaten all day today, so you'll have to excuse me.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go in a couple of minutes and grab my food.
It is Mr. Charles Cross.
Yep, Charles Cross.
See, we needed Zach in here because he knows his stuff.
That's my fifth correct pick in the first 9.
So, okay, after this, if you keep going, I'm going to have you type out a series of lottery numbers.
I love that. What did you just say? 5 out of the first 9? I've gotten 1 out of the first 9 correct, but I
actually even got the Stingley going 3 over Sauce, but I did not have Sauce going as the very next pick.
Who did you have the Jets taking?
Who did I have the Jets taking?
At 4.
I had him taking Thibodeau.
Randy said he would have been okay with that.
Yeah, it would have been just fine. But I wanted the Sauce really bad. Now it is time for the New York Jets once again to pick.
Yeah, I had him going Thibodeau and then wide receiver right here. So Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. That's all I have been saying is Sauce, and then I want the Wilson connection. If they traded for Debo, I would not be mad. I'm not expecting it.
This is the kid from Ohio State, right?
Yes.
Yep. I don't think that Debo was ever leaving the 49ers. I think a lot of this stuff is just things people say and do to get contracts.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that would not surprise me.
It's also like we were in NFL purgatory last week before we get ready for the draft, so they need something to talk about.
I do think Jameson Williams would be is going to be a great wide receiver as well. It's just, when does he finally play this year as he's coming off his ACL? I mean, the Jets are not contending next year, so it's a fine pick to let him heal and then build from there. But I think it is Wilson. Erik, do you agree, disagree?
If you're trying to go for more offensive weapons and everything to continue to be build around Zach Wilson, then yeah, that's really your best shot.
Erik, as our resident draft historian here, somebody who's followed this stuff super closely over the years, when was the last time we didn't have a quarterback in the top 10?
It's got to be that draft, 2012, where the only pick wasn't Buffalo took a quarterback? And
EJ Manuel. It's the EJ Manuel draft.
Where did Buffalo draft EJ Manuel? He was the only quarterback that draft.
13.
So there you go. That would be that. I just can't remember what pick it was, but just in case. All right. Waiting on the Jets picks. Have we any super surprises?
There's any way it's not Garrett Wilson?
If it could be Williams, but I do believe it's a wide receiver here, and it's one of those two. We since Drake London's gone, I think it was one of 3 picks, and now one of those is out of here. It wouldn't fully surprise me as the pick is in, so we will not have a trade in the first 10 picks, which is totally fine with me.
We will. Oh, wait, no, we won't. This is the after effects of the trade of Adams.
Yep, and that's how they received the 10th overall pick. So
Jets seem happy.
Yeah, I see a lot of clapping, but the Jets seem happy.
The Jets also have a very blank draft board. They've erased it all. I will say, though, the Jets, 2 first-round picks, 4 and 10. I have a sneaking suspicion this is not the last time the Jets are making a pick tonight.
So
how much?
I think they really wanted Cross here.
Somebody was talking with Zach. Who was Harry?
No,
or
yeah, that was me. So I'm thinking you're thinking that they're going to use some of that draft capital to trade back up into the first round.
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask, how many extra picks do the Jets currently have in this draft?
They've got a lot. They got these 2, and then they have 2 of the first 10 picks in the second round. I think they're 34 and 38.
So you see them maybe bundling 34 and 38 together to come back up late in the first?
I don't think you even need to give up that.
I definitely think you need to give up that.
If you have 34, you only got. Because to me, it's going to be at the bottom end of the first.
Because I'm thinking
Cincinnati's the perfect spot at 31. I don't think.
I was just gonna say it's no big difference for Cincinnati picking 31 and 34. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be better for the Jets because they would have that 5th round option for getting that other first round pick. So I don't think Cincinnati would really be hyped up about anyone that they would be that desperate.
All right, the Jets select. Come on. Yeah, look.
There you go.
I got 2 picks right. They were both the Jets.
Wilson to Wilson.
I retire. I'm so happy. How did they not disappoint me in both of the picks?
Because you have tempered expectations?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna disappoint you on the field this year instead.
Shush.
Did you just Chad Gable me seriously?
I did just Chad Gable you.
Shush.
That's a great pick.
I'm happy, man. And now I can relax. I do believe that they will pick again tonight, but I can relax for a few hours.
Until the thoughts of another 5 and 6 win season dance in your head.
Garrett Wilson, obviously, wide receiver out of Ohio State, like we talked about. 70 catches last year, over 1,000 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns, a 4.38 40 in the combine. That's just the new wide receiver minimum at this point. It's like if you're not fast, you're not going in the first round.
Nope.
I mean, 4.4 in the 40 is very impressive. We talked about the fact that the one guy from Georgia, Walker, had that 4.5 at 270 pounds. So speed kills currently, and that seems to be the theme for the vast majority of this first round here.
Mm-hmm. Except for Evan Neal.
And the one dude who's like 384 pounds, the other lineman, Iguanu,
yeah.
Well, Georgia's going to have a defensive tackle taken later that ran like a 4.6. So just everyone from Georgia's passed now.
So many people from Georgia going to get drafted.
This puts Washington in such a tough spot, because they really wanted a wide receiver, and both of their top 2 choices are gone.
So yeah, now we definitely with Washington here. They need. I mean, obviously, wide receiver is a big key that they were hoping for. They do need a lot of defense as well. Kyle Hamilton's still out there. I think that would be a pretty decent pick as well.
That'd be a great pick for them right now.
Trade.
Oh, our first trade.
Saints moving up for a quarterback.
The Saints with the trade.
I would not be
finally
surprised.
get to use my trade thingy.
I would not be surprised to see this be Kenny Pickett. I've heard they're really high on him.
So New Orleans, where were they picked? Oh, they had the 16th and the 19th pick. We'll see if they had to use both of them or if they're able to only have to use one.
I'd say
maybe they use the first and a second.
Yeah, it would be shocking if they used both of the first.
I was going to say a first and a third. So, yeah, I'm right along there with you, Zach.
Yeah. If they liked a guy, though, maybe they got a little worried that someone else was trading up for a quarterback, or maybe they just really want like a young defensive player, like Johnson's still on the board, or they need a lot. They need a receiver, they need an end, and they obviously need a quarterback. I shouldn't say obviously need a quarterback. It depends how you feel about Jameis Winston.
Winston is butt.
I'm with you on that.
So, Robert, do you think this is for a quarterback? Do you think it is for a different position? What do you think?
I think it has to be. I think you've got to take. You're going to end up taking Pickett off the table finally. I think they have to do something. They've made it quite clear that they're not going to use. I'm drawing a blank now. Our boy in multiple places. He's going to be playing. Taysom's going to play tight end, and that's where they're going to put him. So I think this is a smart move. It just depends on how much they're giving up to move up. Basically, what we say, 5 picks.
Yeah, still waiting for the
real quick
the whole deal.
Do me a favor, Randy. Pull up the Commanders graphic again, real quick. It is at this point that we here at the W2M Network and part of the R&R Sports Report would like to send our condolences to the family of Dwayne Haskins. Tragic life cut short way too early.
Very, very true. Pull up the Saints here and say messed everything up. Not a lot of first round picks. They're in the last couple of years for them.
That's true. Before that, though, when they were starting to build the team they currently have, they were killing it in the draft. They had like 2 or 3 years where at the end of every draft, I thought they had the best one, which is disappointing as a Falcons fan. But earlier you brought up the point of being surprised about no top 10 trades. And I think that's kind of indicative of being a bad quarterback class. I think if there was a big-time QB, we would have seen it. So maybe that's why we're seeing it now, or maybe there's a different player they just really thought they weren't going to be able to wait for, like Jordan Davis.
All right, so from Field Yates, the Commanders give up the 11th pick, the Saints trade the 16th pick, the 98th pick, and the 120th pick. So the
okay, so it was a third rounder. So Harry had that.
Mm-hmm.
So a first, a third, and a fourth.
Yeah, late 4th, late 3rd. So a lot of good, basically your late day 2, day 3 picks. It's not a bad deal.
And they still have that second first rounder where they can go after a wide receiver they want. So they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, New Orleans.
It's a win now team, so going after a wide receiver in the first round makes sense.
Right,
did you just say
is in?
I was just about to say, did you just say the pick was in, Randy?
Just said it now. Just moving some other
Jameson
stuff around.
Williams.
You could definitely see Williams. I know that was a lot of rumors going around. Was there was going to be some of those teams at Green Bay, at Kansas City, that might want to move up and try to get a Williams.
I had Kyle Hamilton here, but I didn't have the Saints picking here. So, like, this is kind of where I'm 6 for 10 so far, but my draft probably falls apart at this point.
I have a theory here. How about the 2 Ohio State wide receivers going back to back? Garrett Wilson and now Chris Olave here to the Saints.
I think
some people think Olave is the better receiver of the 2.
Quarterback or no? What are we all saying? I'm going to say no quarterback here.
My original pick was Kenny Pickett. I'm going to stand by that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Chris Olave.
I'm going to say no as far as quarterback. I know even though you're going to have a different style of offense, LASIK Jameis has proven a lot better than pre-LASIK Jameis, so I think they can stick with him at least a year.
I don't know how I feel about I don't know how I feel about watching this full draft, Erik. If I wanted to see 32 picks in 3 hours, I'd watch Jameis Winston play.
Unoriginal, but still funny.
That's gold.
Well, I mean, it is ESPN, so we have to give the obligatory 30 for 30 mention on Jameis Winston.
We have to recycle jokes like he steals crab legs.
It's true.
Well, I mean, he went to Publix. He just took where shopping is a pleasure to a different meaning.
Because
Because apparently,
a Charger fan doing out here for the Saints pick?
Why are we bolting up?
wait,
Because they're announcing the opening game.
yep, I was just about to say.
Well, no, it would be the week
Chargers.
2
Oh, it's
game,
Chargers
right?
and Chiefs.
That would be the week 2, the first Amazon game.
Mhm.
And that is not just a fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, probably
That's Tony Gonzalez.
It looks like Marcus Allen win the Chargers jersey.
not. No, I think the two on the ends are fans, and then you have Tony
They
Gonzalez,
are.
and I can't think of the Chargers guy that's standing next to him.
Is that Barber?
No,
No.
that's not Barber.
Is Tony making the pick now?
Why are they showing it? Like the Chiefs are all leaning in. It's the Saints pick, people. Yeah, they're saying week 2.
Tony
Somewhere
Gonzalez
Robert
is allowed to do what he wants.
Taylor is smiling that the Chiefs are taking over this draft.
Because of course he would. Am I the only
Yeah.
one that thinks that those gold Chargers jerseys are legit and need to be more of a thing?
Yeah, that's what they're announcing. Chargers at Arrowhead, week 2, Thursday night football. That's what we're getting right now. That's a good Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm. Of course it's a good game. You know how much Bezos paid?
I look forward to seeing if Khalil Mack can smack Patrick Mahomes in the fanny pack.
What do you guys think is going to be the first Thursday night game? Obviously, it's going to be the Rams, but we go Rams Niners.
That'd be
I
my
think-
logical guess. Rams Niners.
Or Rams Cardinals.
I don't
with
think it's a
everything with-
division game. I think it's like Rams Packers.
Rams Packers would be a good choice too,
I
especially
don't
with
think it's a
the.
division game. Yeah.
Did you hear the reports that the Packers are trying to move Jordan Love?
I
don't
haven't
know.
heard that, but it makes sense at this point. You might as well.
The only reason I wouldn't say is the Packers game. The Rams are on the road for that game.
Oh,
Could be
really?
Dallas. Dallas Rams would just make sense because Dallas just sells.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Saints pick is in, and they're finally getting to it. Oh, it is Olave. Look at that. Nice
Harry
pick,
striking
Harry.
again.
Nice pick, Harry.
Well, I mean, in fairness, I said it was going to be Kenny Pickett first, and then changed it to Chris Olave.
Hey, final answer is all that matters, right?
It was a coin flip between the two Ohio State wide receivers. A lot of people liked them both for different reasons. So in this case, they both win.
You think it was interesting for them to move up the 4 or 5 spots to get him, though?
I don't think he was going to be there, and they really wanted a receiver.
I 100% disagree. I think he would have been there at 16.
And now we have another trade, apparently, or do we? Yes, we
Vi-
do.
Vikings to the Lions. Divisional trade. Weird.
This is
Very.
where you could see some Pickett action.
So the Lions had the 32nd pick, so obviously that's got to be part of this.
Yeah, and
See,
I think this is
they
where you
didn't
could
want
see the
any
quarterback
trades
action.
in the top 10, but we're going to have a trade in every one of the next 10 picks, apparently.
And personally, it
Or
wouldn't
everyone
sur-
that wanted a wide receiver is getting scared right now. Like, everyone just got super triggered by the Olave pick, and now everyone's like, "Oh, I got to get the Alabama guy."
I was about to say, could this be Jameson Williams from Alabama right here to Detroit?
I don't know if it's Jameson Williams. If it's not Jameson Williams, they may just go ahead and get Malik Willis. Because I don't know how much they're really getting behind Jared Goff after what they've seen.
I would say it's Jameson Williams or a quarterback. I don't know if it's Willis. I don't know if it's Kenny Pickett, but it's a receiver or a quarterback right here.
Where were the Lions?
I would put my money on.
Randy, where were the Lions originally scheduled to pick?
32nd. They had the second.
The Rams pick from the Stafford deal.
Yeah, it was the second pick and 32nd pick is what Detroit had. Obviously, they used the second pick for Aiden Hutchinson, which is a fantastic pick. And now here, moving up from 32, you got to assume, up here to, what are we at, 14 or 12? We're at 12 right now. I got to think it's for a quarterback. Like, yes, I mean, Williams, you got to think some other teams are trying to jump up to get Williams, but the Lions are not a wide receiver away. Jared Goff is not the answer in Detroit.
That's sad.
Essentially proven as much.
That's sad for me because I actually like Goff. I thought he got a raw deal in L.A.
I mean, if he had been able to recover from that Super Bowl performance, yeah, he would have been able to have a longer shot, but he just didn't.
And the pick is in for Detroit as we wait. I like how they keep showing the quarterbacks, and none of them seem excited.
So I think the other thing behind the New Orleans trade is that Philly has those two picks, and I think they thought Olave was going 15 to Philadelphia.
Erik is on the ball on this one. It's Malik Willis.
And hold on. And the Eagles have moved up to 13.
Did they pull the graphic already for the stream there? Because it looked like they flashed Malik Willis on ESPN there for a second.
Oh, I missed it. But according to Ian Rappaport and Field Yates, we've already had a trade for the next pick. So after no trades in the first 10 picks, just the next 3 picks have all been moved.
The Eagles are definitely a part of that wide receiver scare. There's no question about that because they wanted Olave, and now they're going to have to take Jameson Williams.
So trying to see details on the other pick.
I think ESPN may have jumped the gun on the Malik Willis pick.
All right, so the Vikings get the 12th pick and the 46th pick. Or no, excuse me. The Vikings trade their 12th pick and 46th pick. The Lions trade the 32nd, 34th, and 66th pick.
Interesting.
That's how we got this trade. Already happened. The Eagles are trading the 15th, the 124th, and 162nd to the Texans for the 13th pick.
So the compensatories.
Yeah, and that's got to be Jameson Williams at 13 if he's still there. Got to be, because I think they had like Williams and Olave as a coin flip. So,
and apparently the Lions also get a second rounder next year.
No, it's this year. 12 and 46. They're showing it on ESPN now.
All right, where do we go?
The line select. No.
You get Williams. It is a madhouse race for wide receivers all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yep.
So apparently,
which makes the Eagles trade up even more interesting.
So apparently somebody in the ESPN graphics department is fired for flashing Malik Willis's name here as the selection.
I think they were just showing that Willis was in the dressing or in the green room.
Mm-hmm. They didn't have Willis on screen when they showed it. They had him with the little pig background with the blue Lions background. It definitely looked like it was intended to be the pick for the Lions.
So now the Eagles, as you say, they traded up. They essentially just had their other picks stolen. So now what did they do?
79
I think
catches.
they missed out twice here.
79 catches for 1,572 yards and 15 touchdowns. National championship runner-up season for Alabama. Williams is a junior wide receiver, 6'1" and 179 pounds.
This draft has just gotten goofy. Just without how much movement we all of a sudden have.
Well, you wanted to use your trade gimmick, Randy. Now you're getting the chance to.
Yeah, it's done it a lot.
Good thing you had the extra work as far as the different draft slides and everything. Because it was still
I haven't had time to use half of them.
Well, here's going to be the question. When do the Raiders trade up so they can screw everything up?
Right. I still have I haven't had a slide available. That's good. So I'll bring up Philadelphia's thing real quick.
Maybe. I mean, I guess now they can take a flyer on John Dotson, but
they have taken wide receiver each of the last 2 years in the first round. It'd be interesting if they somehow still take one here.
Jalen Reagor back in 2020, Devonta Smith out of Alabama last year for 2021 for the Eagles. And then Andre Dillard, a tackle in 2019.
This could be Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Eagles could use secondary
best
help.
Player available.
Eagles could use secondary help.
Oh, we lost Robert. I was just about to bring up to Robert. You know, right now Baltimore is next. We'll see if they trade. But he wanted Jermaine Johnson. He's still out there.
For the 2 Eagles picks, I had Olave when they had the 15th pick, and then for their 18th pick, I had him getting Trent McDuffie. So he's still there, I guess. Trent McDuffie.
It's another decent pick. They had a cool little story on him during the pre-show stuff.
Yeah, I had 2 Washington corners going in the first. I don't know. The second guy is kind of a stretch, but I just hopped around mock draft to mock draft, and I was kind of surprised that their defensive backs were that well praised.
All right, so we're waiting through commercials right now for the Eagles. Robert, Baltimore's pick is next. Do they join in the trade parade, or are they going to pick Johnson?
I think they've got to go Johnson. I was hoping that he would get there, and he has showed up there. So I don't see him jumping on the receiver train at all here.
Randy, can I have the screen for a second? From my former reaction co-host Tom John, is it just me, or does the draft have a first-round wide receiver avalanche every year?
Sure feel this one has been wild. Where it's not just an avalanche; it's everyone jumping out of their seats to move up to get one.
I think he's right, though. I think the last 3 years, people have gone crazy for the position, and it makes sense because if you're not the Eagles, it's worked out for you.
This has got to make Green Bay so upset right now. They were hoping some of these guys were going to drop to them.
I think they thought John Dotson would drop
time
to them, but there's that North Dakota State guy that is going to fall right in their lap. And I think that's about the range, or they're going to get the Georgia wide receiver. Those 2 will probably still be available.
Man, these commercials are taking forever.
Well, again, they have to play catch up since all these other picks went so fast.
Yeah, so they don't even have John Dotson, who I have as the best receiver available, as the best available. They have Treylon Burks above him, and a lot of people had him going to Green Bay.
Yeah, Burks definitely has been moving up a lot of boards.
That's the kid from North Dakota State, right?
No, he's from Arkansas. The kid from North Dakota State is a projected second rounder. I think it's Christian Watson. And even though he's projected to go in the second, the way wide receivers are moving, he's a first rounder this year. And then there's who is it? Georgia guy, who's a mid second rounder, but people
Pickens, right? George Pickens.
Yeah. George Pickens.
Yep. Yeah, he'll go in the first 2 somehow.
I'm just curious why ESPN can't do the same thing they do for golf. Here's your live play-in. Watch what's still going on. Let's get ready to draft and ready to go.
Well, I mean, that's because there's more action day 2 and day 3 of the draft when you have the side-by-side, because a lot of the picks are coming in hot and heavy for something like
Those
this.
5-minute rounds.
Yep. Whereas for something like this, you got 10 minutes to go regardless.
Again, we've all said that this draft seems to be going faster than normal. So I think they're going, we got to get commercials in somewhere.
Yeah, what was it last year, the year before, where they tried to do the first 10 picks without doing a commercial break? They had some sponsor where they're like, the first hour is brought to you commercial free. I think it was 2 years ago, and it was they didn't get a lot of picks in. They slotted an hour for it, and they ended up not getting very many picks in. I miss it being on Saturdays, rounds 1 through 3, all in one day. I sat around and made a day out of it.
1 through 3 on Saturday, 4 through 7 on Sunday.
I loved it, but the thing is, they still had 15-minute first rounds then, and that was a little too much. But if they had the 10-minute rounds, I think that would have. I don't really necessarily need the primetime Thursday, primetime Friday thing.
Well, I mean, I think the primetime Thursday and the primetime Friday are better because what rounds do people usually tune into? First round, second round, maybe the third round after that it drops off. I think the year right after when Maurice Claret was drafted and they had that huge delay for the MLS soccer match, they were like, we need to definitely fix this and go by better numbers for everybody. And they came up with this idea.
All right, so
I'm sure the numbers are drastically better, but I do want to know my second round pick after I know my first round pick, because I care just as much this year about my 2 second rounders as I do my 1 first. And we also have 2 thirds. So it's like, I can't wait for tomorrow.
I think Buffalo has 2 seconds and a third as well.
Yeah, I'm with you with the 2 early picks in the second round, having to wait till, when do they start? Like 4 o'clock tomorrow?
I think it's an hour earlier than today. So for me, it's 5.
Oh yeah, you're down south. So the Eagles pick has been in for 17 minutes. So the Baltimore pick has to have already been in. I think their 10 minutes have ran out too.
You would think so. What scares me is they moved up to get ahead and to get Johnson. Because you do look at their needs and what Philadelphia needs. They need a linebacker. They need defense. They need a lot of help there.
Just see Kyle Hamilton.
And at this point,
I can too.
At this point,
Oh, because we haven't waited long enough for this damn pick.
Yeah,
and of course they give a shout out to the local high school powerhouses like Bishop Gorman.
Any day now.
Let's make the freaking pick, Goodell. God, Jesus.
We've hit a screeching halt in the proceedings.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dramatic reverb.
Move up to get Jordan Davis from Georgia. Interesting move up.
For being 340 pounds, that man is quick.
I guess they had to do all that without their scramble.
Is that the one that The Rock tweeted about? About him having that?
I thought he ran this like insane 40 for his size.
Yeah, like that. Didn't he run like a 4.440 at 340 or 4.540?
Yeah, no, it was the 4.78, but that's still
4.740.
incredible at 340 pounds. Like it's just insane.
Yeah, this is the dude that The Rock tweeted about. And that is a big boy.
How does Baltimore still have 7 minutes on their clock? Oh, there we go. Their pick is in. Good grief.
So I think Johnson fell right in their lap.
They usually don't start the 10 minutes until the other pick is officially announced, just in case.
No, because usually they'll make the pick and then it's at least a couple minutes have been off. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the Baltimore.
All right, I have to take a second here. I'm gonna turn the floor over to Robert Hagan here since this is his team.
Yeah, man, we could go so many different ways with this. Losing some defensive pieces now that Kyle Hamilton is still sitting there could be very interesting.
Yeah.
You could easily go a couple different other places. You could go with Johnson. You could even go with Nakobe Dean, another Georgia kid. There's lots here, but I'm going to stay with my gut. And my gut still tells me we're going Jermaine Johnson from Florida State.
Am I the only one that I see? I think it could be Kyle Hamilton here. And the reason I say that is because I've heard comparisons to Hamilton for Ed Reed.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is
that would fit perfectly with the Baltimore system, especially given the fact that Baltimore knew what Reed was able to give. And if Hamilton can manufacture anywhere close to the production that Reed did, then that's a steal of a draft pick at 14.
Yeah, I don't think most mock drafts had Hamilton still on the board right now. So I could see Hamilton.
Dropping to 14.
Yeah, I could see Hamilton here. I could see McDuffie here, or I could see Johnson here. It's defense.
I'm saying Kyle Hamilton personally. Erik?
Given the nature with the Ravens defense and historically, and you just said yourself, if there's comparisons to Ed Reed, you would have to go Hamilton at this spot.
And this is a man who knows Ed Reed quite well, given where Ed Reed went to college.
Zach, who are you going?
Throw it up, Erik. You know you want to.
There
you go.
Yeah, I had John. I actually think Johnson goes here still. I think that's their guy, but I do like the Ed Reed comparison. Hamilton's one of my favorite players in the draft. I'm surprised he's still on the board, but a lot of people had him falling after that 40 times. So,
Randy, you're the tiebreaker here,
but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm going Johnson. That's where we picked. That's where we went. I'm surprised Hamilton is still out here on the board, so it would not surprise me. But Jermaine Johnson was some people were saying was a possible top 5 pick as well. I mean, a lot of mocks didn't have him quite that high, but I think either way they're not going to. It's not a bad pick for them.
No, it's going to be either Hamilton or it'll be Johnson. And, they did pick up Marcus Williams from Houston as Houston was unloading. A lot of their players didn't re-sign some people. So, I mean, they did get a little help. But if they go line here, D-line, I think the next couple of picks for Baltimore look for a lot of defensive backs to go for them. Is Mel Kiper just still talking?
He loves to do that.
This is his night to shine. Or his weekend to shine, really.
I think if you're Houston, you're really happy about whoever Baltimore doesn't take here. Like to be at 15 and either get Hamilton or Johnson to fall into your lap is pretty awesome for them.
I think we have the kinks worked out on the W2M net feed. So welcome back, everybody, over on the W2M network. I am once again Harry Broadhurst of the Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report.
Sports in black and white.
That's Erik Watkins. Joining us, as we mentioned earlier, are the two gentlemen from the R&R Sports Report, as this is the Sports Reporters Draft Special. That is Randy Isbell up in the top left corner. Top center will be Robert Hagan. And then once again, Randy, why don't you go ahead and introduce everybody to your guests here joining you guys.
Zach Swan from a defunct podcast. He says it's coming back, but we never know with those guys. They'll take
Sports
6
program.
months off. Yeah, they'll come back. They'll leave for 6 months, and the next thing you know, they're doing 3 shows a week.
So you're saying they're the soccer to the max of the
program.
network.
Yeah, we're just holding on to the handle at this point. There can only be one sports program on Spotify, and that's ours until someone pays us for it. So the show still exists until someone gives me that money.
Right.
Speaking of Spotify, you can rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify. In addition, check out the link to the Discord below, available right underneath here in all of your show descriptions, available across the many fine audio and visual platforms with which you might be watching the W2M network.
Here you go.
Here it is. This should be
Kyle
Jermaine
Hamilton
Johnson.
BWSR versus R&R here.
Listen, I am okay with Kyle Hamilton being there. They need a little extra. little extra help in the backfield and or defensive backfield. So I'm not mad at this pick. This is a great player
This
out
is
of Notre Dame.
definitely one of those picks that they did not expect to be there. I think Baltimore was a big benefactor of the wide receiver avalanche that we saw.
Absolutely, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now Houston back on the clock. They've already traded down. They were supposed to pick 12, and move back to 15. They got Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback at LSU, in their first pick here.
Yeah, this was
already in.
This was originally the Philadelphia pick.
Yep. So now the question is, have we now finally hit the point of a quarterback?
Yes. Yes, this is Malik Willis.
This would be, I would be totally fine with it.
And at this point, I think the Steelers are salivating at the fact that Kenny Pickett might fall to them.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is pick 20, so they got a few picks. I mean, they can still move up, but
I doubt that they would.
See, if this is Willis, I wouldn't be surprised to see Pittsburgh try to move up and make sure that they get Pickett.
Especially if Willis goes.
And specifically because of the fact that Pickett played at the University of Pittsburgh, he knows the stadium because obviously the Panthers games are in Heinz Field, which is where the Steelers play. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a situation where if Malik Willis goes here, don't be surprised if the Steelers trade up to make sure that they can get Kenny Pickett.
Zach, would you be shocked if the quarterback goes here?
Yeah, I still don't think anyone goes. I actually don't think – I think Willis goes to Pittsburgh. I don't think Pickett goes there. But, yeah, I don't think the Texans are interested in a quarterback. I think Davis Mills is going to get another year.
6'4" junior, 220 pounds from Notre Dame. Kyle Hamilton had 34 total tackles and 3 interceptions last year and ran a 4.59 in the 40, which for a safety is a little slow. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Hamilton also nursing a hamstring injury towards the end of last season?
Yeah, he was a bit banged up throughout that last year with Notre Dame. Fantastic talent. Again, I still stuck with Johnson just because that's what we put in our mock, but we had Kyle Hamilton going well before where he went with Baltimore. I think it's a steal for the Ravens, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. Arguably the biggest draft value for their pick of the first round thus far.
I mean, you can really put him anywhere in that backfield. The slot, you can drop him back to coverage and kind of a blitz showing.
And let's also talk about like what we just said earlier, too, when it comes to Hamilton. The NFL comparison for Kyle Hamilton is Ed Reed, who Baltimore fans are obviously very familiar with, as he was a foundational part of that Ravens defense, which dominated the NFL back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Now I feel bad because I didn't wear my Ed Reed jersey. I would, at least Erik and I could have been somewhat on the same, I'll give you a little love.
Thank you.
For a minute. Just for a minute.
All fingers up. If you're going to throw up the U, it's all fingers up.
That's why I'm not a U fan.
I'm not either. I'm a Gator guy, but at least we both agree on hating Florida State, right, Erik?
Oh,
is this an offensive tackle?
Oh,
they are in already.
Yeah,
Goodell,
if they do go tackle.
Goodell announcing the pick now.
Yeah, Kenyon Green.
Okay.
Guard, Texas A&M.
So they do decide to give Wilton Mills another year. All right. Good protection for him.
mean, to me, that makes sense. Davis Mills and Mac Jones, there's no difference between the two of them except for what team they got drafted on. So the only difference is they were able to get one in the third round instead of having to waste the first rounder on them. But if you swap the two teams between
we have a breaking
Davis
news
Mills and Mac
trade.
Jones, they're the same quarterback.
Commanders are on the clock.
Yeah, that's normal on the clock. But we have a breaking trade, Robert. Yeah. The Baltimore Ravens have traded wide receiver Marquise Brown to the Arizona Cardinals.
Hollywood's a Cardinal?
The Ravens, according to Field Yates 3 minutes ago, the Ravens just traded wide receiver Marquise Brown and pick number 100 to the Cardinals for pick number 23.
Interesting. I have
the
Dotson
Ravens
going
back
to the
to the
Cardinals
top.
at 23.
Wow.
Well,
So
I
you
guess
think
if they're not.
Dotson goes to Baltimore?
I didn't see that happen at all.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
at all.
that could be the case.
Go ahead and bring us back 5 wide, Randy. Sorry about that, Zach. Go ahead.
Oh, I had a few hot takes I was saving for fantasy for when we got the show back going, because I actually thought Dotson would go to the Cardinals at 23. And I think as far as fantasy production goes, not NFL production, just fitting on that team, he's the rookie wide receiver to take. Now I have to change my hot take because he is not going there anymore. That's great for a different team that's drafting in the 20s. But yeah, so when Cross got drafted a little early, I think that's why Houston bumped down on that pick, because they go, that's the alignment we wanted. Let's drop down a little bit and take whoever's available at that pick.
But they get a couple 4th-round picks and a 5th-round pick. Probably still got
I think it works.
Their
I think it works
plan.
out for them. Yeah, I think it works out for them. And like I said, I've been doing a thing on the other show where I think Davis Mills and I always say Davis Mills and Mac Jones are the same person. It's just different, who you get drafted by. But
both are better than Daniel Jones.
All right, let's go ahead and I want to get the actual Ravens fan perspective here. What are your thoughts on Hollywood being traded here?
He kind of underperformed a little bit this year, but I'm surprised they moved somebody who had become a quick target for Lamar Jackson. I think this is going to affect more than what we know. I'm very shocked to see a trade like this come through, unless they've got something really brewing in one of these wide receiver onslaught of players going. It's just a little shocking there. Could it be a George Pickens? That would be a great spot for the Georgia boy to come in and play for Baltimore. That might be something smart. We could be wrong there. It could be another defensive guy.
What are your thoughts on now having a second 1st-round pick?
I don't. I'm still in shock. I don't understand why they would want to move him. But having another pick in the 1st round, it just means that they are trying to make some quality moves and try to better the team. I think the best play to go is they've got to make the defense better. That's where we struggled this last year, is defensively in the defensive backfield, and they just got picked apart. And so, what a better place. But, you could see a couple of different plays. You could see an Andrew Booth from Clemson go, as Clemson and Baltimore have had a lot of interacting over the last few years. I mean, anything's possible there.
Hell, you could even see Jermaine Johnson somehow drop to the 2nd pick.
All right, give me a second, guys. We have just hit the hour mark over on the W2M network. Joining you guys in progress here with the Sports Reporters Draft Special, a presentation of the W2M network in association with the R&R Sports Report from KLCZ Radio, klcz.com. I am your host of BWSR, the Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report.
Sports in black and white.
I'm Harry Broadhurst. He's Erik Watkins. Pointed the wrong way there. There you go. In addition, we are joined by Randy Isbell and Robert Hagan of the R&R Sports Report, as well as their special guest, Zach Swan of Time Well Wasted.
Time spent poorly. I don't know if we associate with the network anymore, though. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to note for those who are listening on W2M, because of the setup, and it'll be a very long story of why the setup is the way it is on Point of Viewer on Sunday. There won't be any comment engagement allowed because the comments won't necessarily be able to be read on the W2M network platforms. The comment engagement will be going through the R&R platforms. So go ahead and yell at these guys, along with sending your hate mail to s.garmer@gmail.com.
Why don't you
all the hate mail goes to S. Garmer. But yes, go to R&R Sports Report on Facebook and YouTube if you want to interact with us. Also, we are less than 20 Facebook follows away from putting up a poll The poll basically reads that either Robert Hagan or myself will have to go do a training session at an MMA dojo.
Which basically means that we'll get to see them get punched in the face.
Yes. Speaking of getting punched in the face, here's Roger Goodell.
Boo!
Dotson going to Washington.
Oh,
the wide receivers are back.
Didn't
Washington already have a Dotson once that didn't work out? Or is it Doxson? Who was the wide receiver? Yeah,
Doxson.
The wide receiver was that did not work out.
I have a two-part question here.
Yep.
Since we haven't really had the chance to discuss this here, one, what do you guys think of the name change? Do you like the Commander's name?
I don't mind the Commander's name. I just got used to football team. They changed it too many times over the last couple of years. I'm totally down. I've already gotten the Guardians down, but it was just going from their former name to the football team to the Commanders. My brain just gets all jumbled, but I don't mind it. I mean, it's not original. It's not catchy, but it's fine.
Robert?
I will always be a Washington Redskins fan and know what that one with some of those teams that came out of there. So it'll get a little bit of time to get used to, but I'm okay with that.
Zach?
Chargers pick is already in. They're the 17th pick.
I don't love the name the Commanders. I think there was better options, but I also didn't mind the football team. They could have just kept it as that, and I would have been okay.
See, I like the uniqueness of the football team there. And
yeah, exactly.
In fairness, Daniel Snyder doesn't deserve anything special that he can brand, if we're being honest. Erik, they will forever and always be the Washington Redacteds to us, no?
Well, obviously they're going to be the Redacteds. If you're going with Washington football team, you can even go ahead and have a slight nod to my
Not only is and they're going quickly with this. All right, the Chargers pick.
I'll save my take for after the pick.
We'll come back to you in a second.
Yeah. Aiden Frary, if you're still listening, chime in here, bud. Let us know what you think of your team's pick.
Zion Johnson, the guard out of Boston College.
This is actually who I picked in our mock draft on Monday night out of Boston College. So finally got one right here.
Well, this makes sense. Somebody to help protect Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I think for me, I thought they might go Penning and move him to the guard position. So instead, they just took an actual guard. This totally makes sense.
Makes a better sense, or really have a guy who, in my mind, more ready-made, as we have another trade.
The Titans move up.
The Titans trade up from the Eagles spot here. Zion Johnson, Boston College offensive guards, senior, so has the mentality of and it would have the mental maturity of having completed his time in college. 6'3", 312 pounds. Easy for me to say there. Erik, real quick before we get to
whoa. Hold on. This is not your normal trade.
Oh, go on.
The Eagles are trading the 18th and the 101st pick. 101st pick. For wide receiver A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is going to the Eagles. For Deebo Samuel being this wide receiver we thought was going to possibly get moved in the first round, there's way too many wide receivers getting traded right now.
Wow.
So you think when the Eagles didn't get who they wanted at 13, they go, okay, plan B.
So
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, all right, nope, we're done.
Okay,
so, go ahead.
Sorry, Zach. Just real quick here. You remember how I brought up my buddy Tom a few moments ago with the wide receiver avalanche?
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, Randy. Give me the screen again real quick. From our own personal group chat that we have with regards to our fantasy football league, my buddy Lou, Tom, what the fuck? A.J. Brown for the 18th and a 3rd. Tom, the Titans are dead to me.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
A 1st and a 3rd. Well, a 1st and a 3rd for A.J. Brown, though.
Well,
so
just the fact that he got moved. Mm-hmm. So now Tennessee with the 18th and the 26th pick here in the first round. Philadelphia, a month ago, had 3 first-round picks. They traded all of them.
Yep.
They moved up with one, so they did make one pick. They are trade happy.
I think it was It was either going to be DK, AJ, or Debo, right? There was inclinations that one of them wasn't going to get signed to their team. It still could be two of them. I don't think Debo goes anywhere, but this is an interesting move, and I also think the Titans might secretly want a quarterback. That's the other part that's really interesting about this trade. Is that I think potentially Tannehill's not their guy. I don't know if they do it here, but if they have 2 first-rounders now, I wouldn't be surprised if either this one or the second first-rounder is a quarterback.
Knowing with what they've got with Derrick Henry, I can see them doing that with Tannehill.
Just the fact that we've had 2 different wide receivers get traded in this draft. Wide receivers are just going all over the place right now.
Well, when you have a passing-focused league as we've created, you could arguably say that wide receiver is your third most important position behind quarterback and tackle. And to kind of go back while we're in a commercial break and tie a bow on the Commanders' naming situation, number one, I don't love it, but I can get used to it. I think they could have pulled something better, especially with the candidates that I like. And to go on the whole Washington football team moniker, they could have pulled a slight to one of my favorite MLS teams, DC United, and just called themselves the District of Columbia Football Club. Done.
Right.
I like it.
So, Randy, let's talk a second here for going back to what we did with our mock draft.
Okay.
And let's talk a couple of names that are still on the list that we had pretty high going up. And with everything shaking out with the wide receivers and how much they move in, let's talk a little bit about these players that we still had up there. We had Kenny Pickett going very early. We have Willis that we figured was going to go early. Trent McDuffie is still sitting there. Decent cornerback for Washington.
Yeah.
He's still sitting there. Jermaine Johnson still sitting there. And
none of them are going to get picked with this pick.
And Devin Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
These are the names that we still had above in the top 18. Which guy do you think moves first out of this group of names?
You got to think one of these quarterbacks is going to get picked soon. I think the best player is Jermaine Johnson.
Yep.
I
think Johnson goes first out of that
However, group. My prediction for this pick, I mean, yes, they just moved the wide receiver to do it, but I think George Pickens goes here. I think the wide receiver avalanche continues.
Gentlemen, Erik, what do you think? Out of those names that I rattled off, who do you think is going to be the next one to move off that list?
It's hard to try to figure out now with all of these different trades. Might need to come back to me on this one.
The trades have messed up everything.
Yeah, they have.
I think if you're going to trade a wide receiver to get a wide receiver, if you're going to trade a wide receiver to get a wide receiver, you go with Burks. I think here, not Pickens. But I think it's either Johnson or Kenny Pickett here.
According to Mel Kiper right now, Mel Kiper does have Johnson as the number one player left on the board still. So,
by the way, Robert, when we did our first round prop bets, I think both of our picks were wrong for how many trades were in the first round. You said 3, I said 4. I think we've had 4 in the last hour.
I think you are 100% right.
We are nowhere near done.
Because, I mean, if anything, you're right. If you're trading a wide receiver, go with the wide receiver like a Johnson.
Saves the money.
It saves the money. You don't have to worry about contract issues and everything right away. And I don't think that even though Tannehill is on the decline, I don't think that they're going to go ahead and want to jump and find a replacement right away, knowing that odds are they're still going to have to sit this year.
All right, so Goodell out here talking about the Titans trading up to this pick. Well, there's a wide receiver, but it's Traylon Burks from Arkansas.
Yeah,
so they do trade a wide receiver to get a wide receiver. Thoughts on this pick?
I had him substantially above Pickens as the next receiver left. So if they're going to go wide receiver, this makes sense. I'm just surprised they traded a wide receiver to get a wide receiver.
All right. He has big boy hands.
Oh, he's a big
10
boy.
inches. Yeah, 6'2", 225, junior out of Arkansas, Traylon Burks. Nearly 10 inches on his hand span. That's ridiculous.
And I mean, when they're offering the NFL comparisons like to a Debo, to an AJ Brown, it's like, okay, you're trading a guy away, saving money, and getting a younger, cheaper version of them. So I can see why this would work.
All right, so now we're back to the New Orleans Saints, who took Chris Olave with their first pick. We talked about possible quarterback.
One might fall right.
Are we just at that point now where every pick could possibly be a quarterback?
Maybe.
At least the next two. You have New Orleans and Pittsburgh. New England's not going to get a quarterback. Green Bay, God, if Green Bay got a quarterback, I would gut roll for the next 10 minutes. Baltimore is going to get a quarterback. We know that.
So they're not going quarterback. Willis is going to be the first one taken at 20. This is probably going to be an offensive lineman.
Who do we got
I've been right on the quarterback thing so far, so I'm going to roll with Willis, first quarterback off the board at 20.
Do we have any good? We got Trevor Penning, who's a pretty good quarterback. Tyler Smith,
offensive tackle,
still out there. Bernard Raymond was more of a second rounder, but we'll see where that goes. You have the Iowa guy, Linderbaum still out there.
Center.
So there's some good offensive linemen out there still. Welcome back, Erik.
Thank you. Disagree strongly with you, Zach. Pittsburgh is taking a quarterback at 20, but they're taking Pickett.
I completely agree. I don't think, and especially as we said, local product, they see what they've got, and I think Pickett would really do better than Willis in his Steelers style of offense.
Just as importantly, too, the Steelers have made this mistake once before with not drafting the hometown quarterback. I take you back to the class of '83 when they had the opportunity at Marino.
Yeah, they still regret that to today.
All right, who's the next Brown to be traded? We've had Marquise Brown and A.J. Brown both traded today. What do we got left?
Smoke, John Brown.
Do we get Seth Brown, the former LCSC Warrior, getting traded from the Oakland Athletics, maybe?
As long as he's traded to the Rays, I'm fine with that.
He would not fit the Rays system. Seth Brown is home run or bust.
We could mold him. John Brown, Smoke. I don't know if he has an NFL team, but somebody's going to sign him just to trade him.
Right.
Well, the pick is in, by the way. Hey, Randy, what are people listening to?
We don't do that all the time. You can do your thing.
But no, this is your thing. It's the 2 hour mark. Let people know. Plug your pages, dude.
You just did 10 minutes ago. We're good.
No, you didn't. We did.
Yeah, we did right after you when you left.
See?
We talked about our MMA thing and.
No, that is right. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm special. Ignore me.
Chad Gable yourself, sir.
Shoosh.
We'll see this in Bill's Mafia. This is why you don't always want to go through a table. This could happen to you.
We are getting closer and closer to that Buffalo Bills pick.
Man, okay, can we go back to last year's draft with that Buffalo Bills pick? Because I'm still pissed off at the guy to my immediate right in this instance. Because 2 picks before Buffalo picked, this jackass had a pick. I mean, granted, Gregory Rousseau worked out very well for us. No complaints at all. Mm-hmm. However, last year, two picks before us at like 27 or 28, I think it was.
25.
Was it 25?
Yeah. Travis Etienne was 25th.
And everybody in Buffalo was saying they expected Etienne to fall to us at 30. I mean... Yeah, well,
and look what they did to the poor kid.
Do you not have to include that part?
I was just about to say, Russo had an amazing first year up in Buffalo. Etienne spent the entire year on the injured reserve.
Well, blame Urban Meyer. Now we've got that gone. Etienne will actually be healthy enough to play.
Somebody should tell Meyer it is not great to be a Florida Gator.
Well, I mean, when you're running around on a scooter in jorts having Tim Tebow day of practice.
Get that man another strip club to run. He'd be all right.
Okay, doing all of our wonderful military
Are
shout
they going to make
outs.
the pick? Usually this is happening later, but
I think because they haven't had this feature yet, and we're already past the halfway point of the first round.
by the way, the Eagles are giving A.J. Brown a 4-year, $100 million extension.
You know who the happiest person about all this is? Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to go back to last year on the kickoff real quick here, because I know Erik will remember this because he laughed at me when I made this prediction last year.
Yes, I did.
Erik, who did I pick to win the NFC East last year?
If I remember
Man,
right,
exactly.
was it in Philadelphia?
Thank you.
It was.
Yeah.
They did not win the NFC East, but they did get a wild card last year, and now they are a significantly better Eagles team as well. The pick is in, by the way.
His pick has been
Yeah.
announced. It's pending.
Yeah,
Trevor Penning.
nailed another
Trying
one.
to bring it up.
I was
I saw-
gonna.
I saw
Offensive
Zach
lineman.
celebrating over there.
Yeah, offensive
yeah,
lineman, Northern Iowa.
Hey, an MVFC kid. MVFC, for those of you who don't know, is the Missouri Valley Football Conference. It is the conference that my hometown, Youngstown State Penguins, are in.
All right.
One of the
now-
dominant forces in the FCS as a conference overall.
Home
now,
of
Now is it quarterback time?
Zach. I'm telling you right now, it's Kenny Pickett.
Same. I agree.
You still think Malik Willis?
100%. Yeah, I actually was gonna hop off this a couple picks ago, but then I wanted to see if I got the 19th and the 20th right. So sticking around just to get the Malik Willis one, and then I'm bouncing.
All right.
Randy, Robert, what do you guys think here? If it is a quarterback, is it Willis or is it Pickett?
Pickett makes the most sense. He's from Pittsburgh. Obviously, we had a different quarterback going here because we thought other quarterbacks would go a bit earlier. But I'll go on the Pickett side. But I don't want to pick against Zach. He's been right way more than I have tonight.
I will say
That's probably a good reason to pick against me because I'm gonna run out of luck eventually.
That's why you're getting off the show.
Exactly. I need to stop trying. You gotta leave while you're ahead.
Shoot, I need a quick second, guys. My tablet just died.
Uh-oh.
So, but full transparency though, I would love if Willis didn't go here because I was really hoping he popped to like still being available in the 28th or 29th pick and the Falcons trade up to get him. But that's extreme wishful thinking on my part.
Just real quick, per W2M senior producer Brian Espinoza, this is a reminder to those of you watching on the W2M network feed, facebook.com/W2M network. Make sure you guys visit our friends at the R&R Sports Report over on Facebook in order to be able to interact with us live on this episode. We are a live broadcast hosted on the R&R Sports Report Facebook page. So make sure you guys join us over there, like the page, and check them out, and then you'll be able to comment and talk along with us.
Pick is in. Robert Taylor just sent me a thing that was pretty funny. Somebody talking about Treylon Burks had said, he reminded me of A.J. Brown, and it said by an anonymous coach, and the anonymous coach is crossed out, and it says Mike Vrabel. That's really good. That one got me.
Goes back to what Zach said when you have the comparisons to A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel, and then you're basically trading A.J. Brown for a younger model of A.J. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes me also curious what the Chiefs are going to do because we just saw Tyreek Hill go. So they must see maybe a nice little speedster fall into their lap at the end of the first round.
All right. It's very, very interesting with all these wide receivers going, and we know Green Bay needs one. Kansas City probably could use one.
Burks was from Arkansas, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Make sure you send your hate mail about him to s.garmer@gmail.com.
Pig suey.
It's Sean's favorite college football team.
Interesting, though, for these wide receivers, I mean, there's one more with a first-round grade, maybe. I actually don't know if there's any receivers left in the first round.
I mean, you got Christian Watson, you got Sky Moore, you got George Pickens. They all
Watson will go to Green Bay, I think, and then Pickens might be the lucky guy who moves up to the first round because of everyone who's gone ahead of him.
All right, I'm in the process of making my way back. I'm just saying, I'm in the process of making my way back. I'm hoping to get back in time for the pick. Hopefully,
they're doing a hockey commercial, so you're doing okay.
All right, I got a few seconds right now. Good.
Hockey. Yeah, still surprised. Jermaine Johnson's still out there. Trent McDuffie's still out there. A couple really good linebackers, and Dean and Lloyd are still out there.
As this is a BWSR joint production, congratulations on the President's Trophy, Erik.
So, how about them cracking this year, huh?
Not in last place. I mean, last place in their division, but not last place in the whole league.
Montreal, right?
Arizona.
Montreal, I think. Montreal only has like 53 points.
Well, they're ahead of Arizona or Phoenix or whatever that team is called.
Moving at the end of this season.
All right, waiting on the Pittsburgh Steelers pick here at 20. Already 2/3 of the way through this draft. About 2 hours.
You brought up a good point with all those
defensive
defensive players, though, Randy. I still think it's a quarterback, but with all the defensive players you just rattled off, it's going to be hard for a team like Pittsburgh, who covets defensive players, to pass up on all those guys.
Honestly, as a Jets fan, with those 2 early second-round picks, all those great defensive players still out there, I'm salivating for them to move up.
Jonathan Nielsen over on the W2M page, Randy. Jets have a new Revis Island, and it looks like a Wayne Corbett successor.
Don't call him Wayne Corbett. I mean, Wayne Corbett was fantastic, but
I liked Wayne Corbett.
He was decent. But we don't need decent. We need a star. We need the next Keyshawn Johnson.
Just get him the damn ball.
There you go. Hall of Famer out there with Roger Goodell.
Franco Harris.
Yeah, Robert watched him play live.
Would this be an immaculate pick then?
Well done.
Give myself a monkey for that.
I
don't have the monkey for you, Harry. I apologize.
It's okay.
I just don't know about that logo. It needs to go off the screen.
Yeah, that is a very ugly logo. They recently redid it, and it is not good.
All right, where is it? A quarterback? He's milking it up.
The man.
Franco just wants more screen time. He was awesome in that NFL Super Bowl commercial, though.
Kenny Pickett, first quarterback off the board.
There it is. Dang.
Stack finally got one wrong, and now he's going to run.
I'm okay with it.
I have been informed.
I'm okay with it.
I have been informed that on the W2M network feed, I did indeed get a monkey for the immaculate pick joke.
That's awesome.
Well, Zach, we appreciate you sticking around and hanging out with us, even though you end on a wrong pick. It has been a pleasure to have you on.
It was too much of a gamble, right? Stick around and get one more right, or stick around and leave on a sour note. But Derek, who I do the show with, is a Pittsburgh fan. My dad grew up in Pittsburgh. My best buddy Sean's a Pittsburgh fan. I wonder how all three of them are feeling about this. So
you have to get the show back so you can find out.
I should probably hop off here, and I'm either going to get really excited text, or my dad's probably going to send me one saying, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Oh, excuse me, who the F is this guy?
That's our first one.
It wasn't me.
So I do have a few. I do know this. I do have a few students listening on the YouTube page. So, I have no association with this guy. No, I'm just kidding. So, thank you. It's Zach leaving us, but thank you for joining us on that one. So, we knew this if he was going to be here, he was easily going to be the favorite pick.
Oh, easily, because I mean, and even though one benchmark, if you know you have a little bit of success, and we've seen this in a rise of not only ACC quarterbacks, if they have a rule named after you for a special play, that automatically bumps up your draft stock, as you now have the Kenny Pickett rule in multiple leagues.
The whole fake slide bullshit.
The Patriots have traded their pick to the Kansas City Chiefs.
And here we go. Robert Taylor, if you're listening and watching.
Oh, he's definitely watching, whether or not he's listening to the show.
He just messaged me. He's in an airport right now.
Go ahead and pull us back 4 wide for a second here, Andy.
Let me get back to... There you go.
Erik, Kenny Pickett, high five.
Wait, no.
Other hand.
Nailed it. Just perfect. Perfection.
No. We didn't nail it because we did not do it in true Kenny Pickett fashion. Neither of us were wearing a glove. You have to wear 2 gloves to get it right.
You know what the bigger... You know
what Randy and I got to figure it out really quick, see?
I got small hands like Kenny Pickett, though. That's a problem.
You know what the worst part of that was? Is both of us put up the wrong game.
Well, you could have done it on purpose and just did the backhand high five.
Backhand, whap!
So this has to be a wide receiver for Kansas City, right?
Absolutely.
Erik,
after trading Tyreek Hill, everything, they got to go wide receiver.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
I love the NFL Twitter 24 minutes ago just put what is going on with a period after each one with all the trades and stuff going on. Also, NFL memes put when Sauce Gardner got lost trying to get to the stage, they went Sauce Gardner got drafted by the Jets and immediately tried to escape. That one's good too. All right, let me bring up the Kansas City.
And Kenny Pickett is still crying.
I'm a little disappointed that New England traded the pick here. And the reason I say that is, yes, I remember CEH. Unfortunately, he's one of the ones that I did get wrong. I thought Edwards-Helaire was going to be a mistake for Kansas City. Obviously, that was not the case.
All right, so this trade, the Patriots trade the 21st pick. The Chiefs trade the 29th, 94th, and 121st.
Kenny Pickett,
Patriots still in the first round.
Kenny Pickett fell to his knees crying after being drafted by his hometown Steelers.
It's pretty good.
Means he's still going to live at home with mom and dad.
And apparently his hot-ass girlfriend.
Oh!
Nothing? Okay, good to know.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, a Pittsburgh 10, realistically.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, I was going to say, realistically, if we're going at that, 7.5-ish, I wasn't going to be that bad.
I'm an hour away from Pittsburgh. Bite me.
I'm well aware of that. Don't
hence the bite me.
Well, I was going to say, would you rather have me see things about a Cleveland 10 going an hour in the other direction?
Oof.
Exactly.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, because a Cleveland 10 is like a standard 6.
See? You see? I know what I'm doing, even though I don't.
George,
look like
I say George Pickens on this pick. Anybody want to?
No, it's gonna be a wide receiver for sure, and he's got to be listed as the best available at this point.
Oh yeah.
Once this pick is announced, Randy, can we do Kuiper's best available, please? I'm curious to see what numbers on his list they are.
Trent McDuffie, cornerback, wide receiver for Kansas City.
Two-way?
He's a D-back from Washington. That's probably where he will probably spend most of his time.
Well, as many times as Josh Allen burnt them in the AFC semifinal, it's not surprising.
Oh.
Yeah, they have had issues, and especially getting rid of guys like Sorensen and stuff. They needed the defensive backfield to get a lot more help.
Robert Taylor was excited about the fact that they got rid of Jesse Sorensen, though.
Jared,
Jarrett Sorensen?
Yep.
Jesse's the wrestler. My mistake.
Let's see here. That one.
Sorensen was the one who hit Kareem Hunt dirty in the AFC playoff game 2 years ago, right? The helmet-to-helmet launch.
That wasn't Kareem Hunt. That was a wide receiver. But yeah, that was him. Daniel Sorensen. That's him.
All right,
Donovan Peoples-Jones was the receiver that he hit. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So best available on Kuiper's board. So you had the 14th overall pick.
Johnson. Okay.
Axton Hill, he had as the 18th.
Okay.
Dean, he had as the 19th. Lloyd as the 20th. Malik Willis as the 21st, and so on and so forth. Devontae Wyatt. So
okay, that'll work right there.
Mm-hmm.
Packers pick is in. Wouldn't it be some shit if this is Willis when they get ready to trade Jordan Love?
Oh my God.
So we would have another Aaron Rodgers.
No, see, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is Rodgers just re-signed 4 years and $100 million. This could be a case of Rodgers willingly training his replacement down the road.
He never will.
No. With someone like that, he just complete the cycle of what Brett Favre did to him, even with the extension.
I mean, granted, Favre was kind of a douchebag to Rodgers as well. Erik, can I just say how proud I am of us that it wasn't us that dropped the first F-bomb on this episode?
And the fact that I've still gone, I've worked clean for nearly 2.5 hours. This is a record for me.
I've dropped a couple 4 letters, but none of the major ones.
Right.
I mean, honestly, this makes up for the fact of something else that I did on camera during Point of Viewer on Sunday, but that's entirely different.
Yeah, the viewer discretion is advised. Point of viewer discretion is advised, even.
In my defense, it was late at night and it was necessary.
In my defense, it was also a 6-hour broadcast on Sunday, so you know.
Just so anybody out there knows, Robert Taylor says he likes the pick, but would have preferred Johnson.
Would have preferred Jermaine Johnson.
Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for the Jets to move up.
Shout out
Jermaine Johnson. Let's go.
Okay, seriously, for as much crap as we give each other, shout out to Robert Taylor as well. Longtime friend. We talk all the time. A lot of what we do back and forth on these shows is, admittedly, a work. But 100%. Robert's a genuinely good dude. He's a great father and, by and large, a respectable human being, even though his choice in football teams is questionable at best.
Oh,
and he went a little downhill when Mahomes got drafted, but other than that, he's been all right. Back when his team sucked too.
This is what I'm saying.
It was easier to tolerate him when the Chiefs were garbage.
Here we go. First Packers pick.
And our first cheesehead spotted of the evening.
Did he seriously put a Packers cap on top of the cheesehead?
Yes, he did.
That's a fashion choice.
I mean, again, Green Bay.
I wonder if my buddy Packermania is at the draft. The dude who always dresses up like Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know who I'm referring to when I say that?
I do.
The guy that always dresses up like Hulk Hogan at Packers home games.
Yeah.
Brad Borchardt is his name. And the pick is in.
No.
And it's Malik Willis. No, it's not.
Quay Walker, linebacker for Georgia. All the wide receivers are gone, apparently.
That's like the 4th or 5th Bulldog, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This is what happens when you win a national championship.
We have another trade.
Baltimore back into the top 20, back into the draft. Oh, wait, no, this is the one from H.A. Brown, isn't it?
No, well, it's supposed to be Baltimore had moved here, but they traded a pick to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock.
We moved up 2 spaces? What the hell?
The Bills trade the 25th pick. The Ravens trade the 23rd and 130th pick.
What did Buffalo get besides the 25th?
That's it.
Yeah, that can't be it.
They gave the...
So Buffalo gets the 23rd. We give the 25th and a 3rd rounder is what you're saying.
Yeah. Sorry, 23rd and 130 for 25.
So a 1st and a 4th. You guys pick up an extra 4th round pick there, Robert. Mm-hmm. Pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, you're leaving him hanging?
No selling.
I'm writing. I'm keeping.
All right, so Buffalo is on the clock, sir.
Complete no sell of the handshake. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Where's Buffalo going? They moved up 2 spots here.
I have absolutely no freaking idea.
Jermaine Johnson?
Defense would be a priority. We have kind of cut back on our defense over this past offseason.
It would be a little surprising for Baltimore to trade back with Johnson still out there.
Hold on. Let me go over to ESPN and check out the positional needs for Buffalo real quick here.
Let's see.
And of course, the Matt Stafford AT&T commercial.
That's a beautifully done commercial, for the record.
It is.
I appreciate the tongue-in-cheekedness of it all.
So CBS has the Bills' needs as cornerback, offensive line, linebacker, defensive tackle, wide receiver.
We do not need a cornerback. We just need Tre'Davious to get healthy.
That's just what CBS has.
What was the other ones after cornerback? Sorry, I heard cornerback and rolled my eyes.
Offensive guard, linebacker, defensive tackle, wide receiver, and safety.
Offensive line is always a position in need in the NFL. And especially with Allen being as much of a running quarterback as he is, any way to get Allen more protection would not be a bad thing for sure.
So just had a comment from Green Bay Packer fan, Mr. Bill Rowland, my daughter's dad. He is surprised by the pick of Quay Walker, but believes he is still going to get a receiver at pick 28.
You got to think.
It would make the most sense, and especially if now your job is to indeed keep Aaron happy.
He does make a good point, especially with Zazarias leaving, Smith leaving there, so they are in need of a edge rusher.
Guys, we're down to the final 10 picks of this whole first round.
And now Buffalo is making us wait.
That's what we do.
You would have thought they would have known their pick if they moved.
Yeah, you would think so, but you would think incorrectly. I'm curious as to who Buffalo values enough to move up 2 spots for that they don't think will be there, which kind of leads me to think that it is Jermaine Johnson.
It would be a great pick for him to drop this far.
Because
whoever gets Jermaine Johnson is going to get a steal, I think.
Because you guys had him to Baltimore. What were you originally, Robert? 14?
14.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a full almost 10 spots lower than you guys had him draft valued. Kuiper had him rated as the 18th best player overall in the draft. So this is above board on Kuiper's draft board as well.
In our mock draft, we did give the Buffalo Bills Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback out of Clemson.
I don't think we need a cornerback. I genuinely don't. Unless Poyer leaves.
And the pick is in. So congratulations, Buffalo. Your wagons finally got to Vegas.
They just had to circle a bit. That's all.
Bit.
I'm about to say, some of that mountain terrain crossed all the way down there.
It took them forever to cross the Mississippi River. They got dysentery.
We had to ford the river.
Yes.
That's what the. That's
you
what,
have that? That is
I was
awesome.
say that's what the Oregon Trail told us.
That is cool.
You know, we do.
I'm a fan of that.
When we are teaching the Oregon Trail to our junior high kids, there is a version that is online, and so the kids get to play Oregon Trail a little bit. So
can you see the fact that I just turned it on, Randy?
Yeah, that looks really cool.
I have this one handheld here, and I got a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego as well.
That's awesome. I remember playing both of them.
Well,
we have had 6 wide receivers taken here.
Definitely not a wide receiver for Buffalo. The
Buffalo Bills traded Stephon Diggs to draft quite.
The San Francisco 49ers have traded Deebo Samuel to Buffalo.
That would suck.
No.
That would really suck.
Deebo shows up in Baltimore. The connection from San Francisco to Baltimore now.
What connection is that? Connection.
ESPN confirms your report from earlier, Randy. Buffalo moves up 2 spots. Ravens go 25th and get a 4th rounder out of it.
Yeah, I will not take credit for that reporting. That's all Ian Rappaport and Field Yates.
I said it's great to be a Florida Gator. Said it's great to be a Florida. Wait, we seriously took a freaking cornerback? Khair Elam.
What are you doing? No spoilers here.
Sorry, I had the ESPN app.
I always have to not look at my right screen because it always.
Khair Elam, cornerback, Florida.
Yeah, hey, you got a Gator. You got to be happy.
You're the one who said, we don't need a cornerback. Apparently, Buffalo was like, yes, we do.
This has got to be a sign that Poyer's leaving.
I'm not mad at this pick.
I mean, it goes from my favorite college team to my favorite NFL team, so I'm not upset at it. I will be curious to see what happens here. And maybe this is a placeholder until Tre'Davious is able to come back, because the reports are Tre'Davious won't be available until October or November at the earliest.
Another one that's a little surprising that they moved up before, but only 2 spots. You traded a 4th round pick. It wasn't a big deal. So
6'2", 196-pound junior, 29 tackles, 1 interception, 4.4 40 speed though, which is very good in terms of the cornerback position. 4.39 officially. We'll just call that 4.4. The Gators' white jerseys are freaking ugly, for the record.
I don't think so. And B, that speed for a guy who's going to definitely play on the outside like that, matching up against, you would arguably think you're number 2 wide receiver. That's fantastic. Well, yeah, those white jerseys aren't bad at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do not like the white jerseys. I always prefer the blue and orange combo. So Sean Garmer's team is now on the clock.
Where do they go?
Home.
Well, I would say under the old schedule, they would go 8-8, but now maybe 9-8?
Offensive tackle, defensive end, wide receiver, inside linebacker, defensive tackle, according to ESPN. Dean is the best fit, according to the ESPN draft cast. The best available player is Jermaine Johnson, though. Did Jermaine test positive for marijuana or something that we don't know about?
Something has to have happened right now. But I do want to say, with the Dallas Cowboys on the board, we talked about it's Sean Garmer's team. It's also Gary Vaughn's team. His dad,
Shannon Wilson's team, Pat Svoboda's team.
Neither of them had their dad in surgery. Let me get through my thing. But Gary Vaughn's dad, out of surgery 2 days ago, was doing well. We hope things are going well still. That's the last update that I heard was after the surgery. So hopefully he heals quickly. And Gary, we're still thinking about you and your family, but your team stinks.
Glad it went well. Swift and speedy recovery. Get knocked out of the playoffs again.
Or at the very least, enjoy Buffalo coming to your house on Thanksgiving and whooping your ass. That's what happened 2 years ago.
And Dallas is taking their sweet time. Best available by Mel Kiper, Jermaine Johnson, Daxton Hill, safety out of Michigan. Malik Willis, the quarterback out of Liberty, still out there. Arnold, somebody. What is the Penn State guy?
Ebiketie.
Thank you. Ebiketie from defensive end from Penn State. And Tyler Linderbaum, the center out of Iowa, is Mel's top 5 best available still right now. Still waiting for those Jets to move back up and get Jermaine Johnson.
I think at this point, I don't know if we see Malik Willis in the first round.
We might not.
At this rate, I don't.
So, and obviously somebody can move up, but our last picks tonight right now are Dallas, Baltimore, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, New England, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Minnesota. I don't see any of those teams taking a quarterback.
I still say Green Bay would not surprise me. Especially if they're going to
laugh so much.
Especially if they're getting ready to get rid of Jordan Love.
Imagine if they go ahead and they send Jordan Love to Minnesota. That would just be flat out weird.
No, they'd have to send Jordan Love to New York first and then Minnesota.
Yes, it's very true. I was surprised Aaron Rodgers did not make that trip.
Where does Jeopardy tape? New York or Los Angeles?
They tape in California.
That's why I said New York or Los Angeles. ESPN has this. ESPN's draft class has this predicted as Nakobe Dean, inside linebacker, Georgia.
And this would be a great
hat.
This would be a great place there also for Johnson. I get a chuckle out of a couple of guys so far. Pat Sabota was hoping Dotson would still be there from Penn State. But he's also a WSU guy. He's saying Matt Borghi. I don't see that happening.
Stop it.
That's what I'm saying. And Shannon Wilson was pulling for the guy from Texas A&M, and I said he went a long time ago.
The Max Borghi hype was ridiculous at WSU. The fact that people thought he was a Heisman candidate. Stop it. And that wasn't like just a WSU guy. Phil Steele, the guy that makes that the college football Bible, had Borghi as one of his long shot Heisman candidates.
I mean, you've got stuff that you can do in Washington that you can only do in a handful of places. So,
see if I can beat Harry to it.
Yes.
God dang it, Randy. Yeah, I was trying to reach my copy of the Phil Steele 2021.
I knew that's what you were doing, so I had to race for it. I knew I had it right over here, but the things you do when you're on pick number 21 of the NFL draft.
24.
Wherever we're at. It's going really quick. It's going really quickly.
That's why it just feels like 21.
I'm shocked. We're not even 3 hours
Erik,
in.
Erik, he said 21.
21 means 21.
God damn it!
Obey all local gambling laws. Please gamble responsibly. If you have a problem, please seek help.
And hopefully our producer is flashing the scroll at the bottom of the screen at this particular moment.
All right, here we go. Tyler Smith, the tackle from Tulsa, offensive line for the Cowboys.
You got to keep Dak from getting murdered somehow.
Yeah, Dak, Pollard,
Zeke.
And of course, you get the live look at Jerry shaking hands, knowing he made this pick.
Well, at least he's not shaking babies. 6'5", 324 pounds, offensive tackle, only a sophomore, so relatively got to be 19, 20.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty young. All right, Robert, Baltimore back on the clock. This has to be Jermaine Johnson, right?
Yeah, they have to be. You would think this is where they finally take him. As I'm responding back to Pat Sabota wanting to know who they took, as he is away from his television. So you have to go there. I wouldn't be sad, honestly, if they would take Devin Lloyd from Utah. Devin Lloyd's a beast in the middle as a linebacker. I would not be shocked with that pick.
Give me the screen for a second, Randy. Ravens on the clock. ESPN draftcast suggesting Nakobe Dean.
He would be another linebacker there too. So I mean, I think you're good with any of those three picks. You throw those three names out there. Jermaine Johnson, who that name has floated around.
Far too long.
Randy, no, we're not drafting a quarterback.
Randy, can you believe we've hit the 75% mark of the first round already?
It's not. We're not even 3 hours in from the start of the broadcast. It's not even from when the first pick was started. It was just
this is weird. And Tyler Smith, to put a ball on him, redshirt sophomore. Did play his first season, but still kept his red shirt. So
19 or 20.
I'm going to
maybe 21.
Yeah.
If he was a red shirt.
21.
If he was a red shirt, maybe 21. So an incredibly young offensive tackle, which means he's one of those clays that can be molded, hopefully, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan.
So we got 8 picks left. How many of them
who was it that
traded?
sorry, real quick, Randy. I just thought of something.
Mhm.
Didn't Dallas just get rid of Lyle Collins, the offensive tackle?
I believe they did, and he's 21.
I'm pretty sure they let Lyle Collins go, and he ended up signing somewhere else during the free agency period, which
Cincinnati.
makes this pick make a ton more sense.
Yep, he's in Cincinnati now.
Okay, so yeah, this pick makes a lot more sense when you think about, because I completely forgotten about it until right now that they had gotten rid of Lyle Collins.
Hey, I'm just really happy right now. 24 picks in. I've had a slide for everybody.
Again, waiting for the Raiders to trade up.
Right. The Raiders are the only one I'm scared of.
Did you edit the picks thing so that way it says the next 8 picks for everybody else in the first round?
Yeah.
Yep.
It looked like it. This is, of course, subject to trades, of course, people.
Yeah, and we change it every time.
The Ravens pick is not in yet. They're taking longer than Buffalo did.
No, ESPN has to pay for a commercial. That's the only reason.
But usually they'll still say pick is in.
Hey, Erik, there was a chicken on ESPN right there. They're taunting you. They know that rooster is in your yard.
Not just a rooster and a chicken. And for some unknown reason, they
Wait, you have both?
Car. Yes, both.
I hear. I'm honestly formulating, and I think you're probably going to tell us a chicken joke. Why the rooster crossed the road?
Well, I already have
To get to the chicken next to his car.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Because Erik was behind it with a shotgun.
Look, I said machete on the show previously, okay?
Erik,
Well, it did not work for you, so you upgraded.
Erik, on behalf of all of us, that's clucked up.
Wait for the monkey on W2M.
I hope Brian already dinged it for you.
I'm pretty sure, because I've been talking about it. He's already said that I owe him double what I did before for tonight. So, yes, he is.
Still waiting on Baltimore to turn in the pick.
Can confirm there was another monkey.
Yeah.
So, Robert,
Yes, sir.
greatest sports movie of all time.
Listen, that is a sore subject because you guys knocked out the one that should have won
Rudy is
in the first round.
Rudy is not that good, dude. Kyle Hamilton suffered for Rudy's sins today. You realize that, right?
Listen,
Man's got a point. It do be facts, though.
Oh, the pick is in.
They're once again showing the information. Buffalo sending a 4th in addition to the 25th overall pick there. What are you drinking, Randy? Is that ginger ale?
Here's a Sprite.
Okay. Drinking 2 liters on air is apparently a multiple show exclusive.
It's a 1. Just 1 liter.
Oh, that's only a 1. Mine's a 2. Cherry Coke.
And I finished my Red Bull already.
And I, of all people, picked tonight to drink water. What does that say?
mate,
You're into it.
Nope. Robert has water too.
I have water too.
That's why you guys are on the same side.
That's what it is.
On the good side. We're on the red side. Red side of the screen. In other news, Mr. Kuna makes his debut for the 2022 season. The Atlanta Braves win 5-1 tonight over the Chicago Cubbies.
And take 2 out of 3 in the series after losing yesterday 6-3 in 10 innings on a
More important. Go ahead.
Real quick. Double to knock in the ghost runner on second, and then Wisdom hit a 2-run homer.
But more importantly, on the baseball side, my plan worked. I put Seattle in my top 5 of the power rankings, and now Tampa Bay is taking care of business. Thanks, Erik.
Oh, you yell at me for doing it. You did it this time.
I did it on purpose.
So what you're saying is he didn't do this to you.
Yes.
You did this to you.
Well, Robert
Pretty
did
much.
put him as a top 5 team too. So,
Yeah.
All right, here comes Mr. Goodell with the Ravens finally making the pick.
All right, let's give
It's gotta be Johnson. It's got to be Johnson.
give
Gotta
Robert
be
a moment here.
Johnson.
N'Kobe Dean. That's a prediction.
Neither. Wow.
Okay. I know they did lose some offensive linemen, but I am a little shocked here. He's not the biggest lineman. That's the thing that scares me. He's only 6'2".
296.
But how, with the kind of offense that you run with Lamar Jackson, do you really feel like having a somewhat of what would be considered a more undersized lineman would help more than it would hurt?
His mobility is pretty good. Tyler Linderbaum can move. He's good about press blocking. If you're watching some of his motions here, he gets out on the outside.
The Jets made a trade. The Jets are back.
Uh-oh.
Titans to the
Jermaine
Jets.
Johnson, please.
Is this Titans
Yep.
to the Jets? Yeah,
Titans to the
Jets.
Oh, please.
ESPN is really on the N'Kobe Dean train here.
He's a very good pick, but needed a defensive end. That's why Thibodeau was a pick I would have been totally fine with at 4. I'm ready for it here. Please.
Kuiper's best available is Jermaine Johnson. Erik, I just realized why he's tumbling so far down this draft. Because everybody realizes he plays at the inferior Florida school.
Waiting to see trade details. We got them now. There it is. Wow. So the Titans trade the 26th and 101st picks. The Jets trade their 35th, 69th, and 163rd.
Nice.
Not bad to move up 9. They still have a top 10 pick in the second round.
Did Erik seriously just beat me to the nice there? Son of a bitch. That's another running theme on W2M shows. So apparently Lindenbaum is actually was a high school wrestler as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's good, especially if they're gonna keep designing plays to keep letting Lamar Jackson move out. Because I think they probably try to get a really good deal done. Let's sign him up and give him some more protection. So
and Robert Taylor just said he would be really pissed if Jermaine Johnson went here. He wants him to be a Chief. So more reason for you guys. Come on, bring the energy to Jermaine Johnson, New York Jet. So Robert, possibly the end of your night as far as drafting goes. Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Lindenbaum. Not bad.
No, not a bad night at all with those guys. I'm excited. Just a little. I think more excited now for Kyle Hamilton. Yes, I'm bummed out that Jermaine. We didn't stay and pick up Jermaine, but anything's possible.
In. Please, Jermaine Johnson. What? A+++ for the Jets first round if they get Johnson here.
So my question is how come this guy has slid so far down? Is he was very
I don't
high
care.
I go back to my speculation earlier. Are we talking a potential failed drug test? Are we talking a low score on the the Wonderlic test?
Yeah, the Wonderlic.
Giggity.
So I don't know what
it is
combine
German,
numbers was.
so leave it at that.
Go ahead, Robert. We're sorry.
No, I said I don't know what his numbers were at the combine for.
Pull up Jermaine Johnson's slide, Randy.
I don't want to jinx it though.
He's ready and waiting.
Nothing on there about his numbers at the combine though.
Yeah, we have them, but I didn't. I was trying to not fill stuff out. Let me see if I can find them. Well, I guess we don't have a lot of as far as maybe his speed we have on there, but
All right, so while we wait for the Jets to officially announce this pick, Erik, 1, 2, 3, the first pick in the second, 2 picks in the third, first and sixth, 1 pick in the fourth, 1 pick in the fifth, 4 picks in the sixth, 2 in the seventh. That is a lot of draft capital you guys have this year.
This was really the plan, especially under the wonder of Trent Baalke. I still will put that in quotation marks.
All right, here we go.
Pause that thought real quick. Yeah, pause that thought real quick.
Please say it.
Goodell's out. Here we go with the pick for the Jets. And
Yep, there it is.
Reaction.
There it is.
Based on Randy's reaction, it's Jermaine Johnson the second out of.
By the way, as far as combine goes, he ran a 4.5840.
32-inch vertical jump and 125 in the broad jump.
And apparently the executive producer or the senior producer for W2M is appreciative as well as a Jets fan. He also likes the Jermaine Johnson pick too.
I'm so thrilled. I could not have asked for a better first round. And they still have, what, the 38th pick, 39th pick tomorrow?
Yeah, what the hell is with the Jets being competent? All right, Erik, go ahead and finish your thought, and then I'll go to Randy about his Jets picks for the rest of the weekend.
To quote Chris Berman, and the Jets just won the Super Bowl. But
our Super Bowl is what we got.
Honestly, with this in the draft capital, I like what we did with our first pick with Walker. I'm curious of what we're going to do at 33. We really have to be smart about it because even though we have a lot of our really deep picks and something that we can definitely trade up if we want to stick around early in day 2, we got to get to the point to where we pick well, but we have guys we signed to second contracts.
Jacksonville on the clock again.
Here we go.
What the? No.
Sorry, I just saw Jacksonville on the clock. Apparently, trade up with Tampa Bay.
I get the notes.
I'm nervous. I don't like this.
Right.
I'm worried. No.
What are
the Bucks traded pick number 27. The Jaguars trade pick number 33, 106, and 180.
So
too crazy.
So your second round pick, and then both of your thirds. Can I just point out how swagalicious Jermaine Johnson's suit is?
Oh, he looks so good.
I need that jacket. I seriously need that jacket.
That is some straight up cheetah awesomeness right there. Are those clubs?
You guys understand that the Jet? I just heard it because I turned on my ESPN audio just enough so I could hear if trades and stuff happen. Obviously, Greenberg, big Jets fan, of course, too. But he just said the Jets took 3 of Mel Kiper's top 11 players.
I was just about to hit you with your first round so far, Randy. You ready?
Oh, yes.
Sauce Ahmed Gardner. NFL comparison, Richard Sherman.
Ooh.
It's a bad one. Darrelle Revis.
Garrett Wilson. NFL comparison, Robert Woods, the former Buffalo Bill. And now current Los Angeles Ram, I believe. And obviously the most recent pick is Jermaine Johnson II. His NFL comparison is Marcus Davenport.
I can't be happier with this draft. Obviously, there was that small idea of getting Debo. Totally fine with him not getting it with the way that this draft has gone. Last year's draft went extremely well. The year before that, Joe Douglas is building something. And luckily now we don't have a horrible coach to ruin it all. So, again, it's going to be at least another year or two before the Jets are competent enough to challenge for a playoff. The AFC is beyond stacked anymore. So even with the Jets improving, they might still be the bottom of the AFC just because of how good the AFC is.
See, I would say that you guys could be fighting Miami to get out of the basement in the AFC East this year.
Jacksonville's pick is in, so they've already made their decision.
I'm
all right. While Erik
cautiously optimistic.
While Erik sits and frets, Robert.
Yes.
Kyle Hamilton, his NFL current comparison is Darwin James, the former Ram. Tyler Lindenbaum's NFL comparison is Jason Kelsey, Travis's little brother.
Okay. That's a good
I like
pick.
that. I like that.
All right, Erik.
He doesn't like this.
This.
He doesn't like this.
It. You weren't expecting it. You were
No.
Put it
full screen. Put a full screen.
Where we need a name, sir. Where do you want?
I don't even know this. Bulky Khan. Why? No.
F.
You were
while Erik struggles, you were listening and or watching the Draft Reporters special edition. The Sports Reporters. Oh, Jesus, I can't even get the name of the show right. Let's try that again. You were listening to the Sports Reporters Draft Edition, a presentation of the W2M Network in association with KLCZ Radio. I am Harry Broadhurst. I am your host of the Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report.
Sports in black and white.
That is Erik Watkins, who is currently on the hot seat as his Jaguars are on the clock with the pick in. Above me is Rancid Randy Isbell. Next to him is Robert Hagan. They are of the R&R Sports Report. If you guys are watching this on the W2M Network feed and wish to get interactive with us here on the show, make sure you guys check out the R&R Sports Report over on Facebook and check out their live video, because that is the one that launched this stream here. We got a little bit of a late start over on W2M. So you will be able to see the full show over on the R&R Sports Report Facebook page, as well as to be able to interact with the four of us over these last 6 picks of the 2022 first round of the NFL Draft. You can find us on all of your favorite audio and video podcast locations: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, CastBox, Overcast. Rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify. Check out the link to the Discord below. And then on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all but Twitch or W2M Network. Twitch is W2M Net. Erik, we go back to your fretting for your pick.
And by the way, you get to see me fret live on YouTube as we're doing this for once.
All right, we need names. Robert, who's going here?
I think they go with a linebacker. So I would say probably Dean.
Harry?
I'm gonna say Devin Lloyd, Utah linebacker.
It would be more tolerable if we did go Nakobe Dean again, fellow Georgia boy, keeping it local, help shoring it up and pairing with someone with Josh Allen. I'm
gonna say Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, Clemson. Erik?
Why are we showing? Why are they showing Daxton Hill? Why?
He doesn't look excited, so
that's what makes me nervous.
Because he knows he just got drafted by Jacksonville.
I like that they have all the hats there, just lined up, ready to go.
I wonder if they get to keep the hats. You think?
I don't know. I think they have to bring back whoever don't draft them. You just hand them back in somehow.
Devin Lloyd sitting up.
I was to say, is that an adult beverage that he just grabbed off the table right there?
It very well might
be an adult.
To be fair, if I knew I was going to have to go play in Jacksonville, I'd be getting drunk.
I'm going to grab an adult beverage. Well, I would if I had one, but I have other things.
Jacksonville, where else can you go but defense?
Considering as how before the draft, Doug Peterson was trying to lobby everybody to get an offensive player with the first round pick.
Hill is the highest rated player on Kuiper's board. ESPN is predicting Nakobe Dean.
All right, here we go.
This better have been worth it for 6 spots.
You're welcome, Erik. I got this one right too.
Stop spoiling it.
Oh,
get off ESPN.
My bad.
You're good. Devin Lloyd. He did sit forward. He was ready to go.
He does not look excited at all.
Again, would you be if you were coming to this town? And I live here.
I will say that is a very impressive fuchsia suit he is wearing.
Digging the suit, yes. He's got the Florida style already.
The swag is on point. Did I use that phrase correctly?
You actually did use that phrase correctly.
All right.
All right. I like that pick. Now, Green Bay back on the clock. They did not go wide receiver their first pick.
Per our senior producer, he's repping that Duval style.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
The Packers are already...
The pick is in for Green Bay. Yeah. NFL comparison for Lloyd is Darius Leonard.
Considering how that man was a subject of many of my nightmares, I definitely approve.
About to say the guy who plays for the Colts and has driven Jaguars players nuts the last 4 seasons.
Mainly in Indianapolis. When they come to Jacksonville, it's okay.
Oh. I have to remind me after the show, Harry, to send you a video. So WWE is in Newcastle right now doing a live event.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were wrestling. They both went to go off the ropes. Drew hit the ropes and the top rope snapped, and Bobby takes this horrible fall.
Okay.
It says he's okay, but that looked brutal. Like he put his full body into a top rope that was no longer there.
Okay, I've got to admit, seeing the ESPN feed, that shot of him getting a hat and everything, that was classic Duval.
Did you see him just bear hug Goodell too? He gave Goodell the monster lift.
Mm-hmm. Letting them know, yeah, you go ahead and thinking about sending me to London.
Mo fudger.
All right, so there's another prop bet, gentlemen.
Okay.
So Randy and I talked about this. What game is going to be announced to be in London, or the first one over there?
All right, I sent you a link to that.
I honestly think that they're going to end up sending Buffalo over to London.
It's going to be the Jets-Packers game because we already had it planned that we were going to go to that game at Lambeau, and now they're going to send it to London and ruin it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me given how they've got all the multiple games. Because I mean, God, have they fully announced who we're going to play in London this year?
If I may, just in order to keep this with W2M standards. This prop bet brought to you by Bet on Bovada, bovada.lv. Remember, 21 means 21.
God damn it!
Obey all local, state, and federal gambling laws. Gamble responsibly. If you or anybody you know has a problem, please seek help. The number is linked in the scroller below.
And remember, if you do bet responsibly and bet on Bovada, a lot of deals right now if you open your account with Bitcoin. Just saying.
I take it Haley is a Packers fan.
Yes, that's why we're going. The plan is Jets going to Lambeau. She's a Packers fan. We want to go see that stadium. So
pull Haley's comment back up again real quick. I will be so lots of O's sad.
She wants the frozen tundra. I want the semi-cool tundra. Give me a September game, please.
Or more importantly, give you a game in Wembley Stadium. Make sure your passport's up to date.
Oh God, I don't think we could afford it.
I don't know. I mean, with the strength of the British pound right now, I think you're kind of right.
But yeah, Harry, I sent you a link to that in the private chat on.
I see it. Yeah, I'll have to take a look there. See, this is what happens when they go overseas. Ring ropes don't get tightened properly. It's the conversion from the metric system.
Right. All right, 5 picks left here in the first round. This has to be a wide receiver, you think?
Especially after trading Devonta Adams to the Raiders. Devontae Adams, excuse
me. Why Zach did say Christian Watson was his pick to go to Green Bay.
According to ESPN, it's going to be Arnold Ebiketie. Not a spoiler there. That's their prediction. I'm not going to stay on there long enough in order for it to be an actual.
And the good news is it's not going to be the Packers and the Jets. It looks like it's going to be the Packers and the Saints, not at Wembley, but at New White Hart Lane, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Man, when's Anfield going to get an NFL game?
Liverpool isn't a gridiron football town. It's London or bust.
It's It's okay. We still got to come back against City. We still got to make that happen. We did beat Villarreal, because I guess this is kind of a joint thing here. We beat Villarreal 2-0 yesterday at Anfield, and we go back to Villarreal next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, noon Randy Standard Time, for the second leg of our time. For the daylight technically currently, but still. The point being is next Tuesday for the second leg of the Champions League semifinals. In addition, next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, will be Man City and
Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
Real Madrid going to Real Madrid. Man City up 4-3 on aggregate currently.
That was a thriller, and I gotta say, you kind of got a teeny bit lucky with that own goal to make it 2-0. Just saying. But you're in great position, though.
Mane was about to slot that anyways. It wouldn't have mattered.
We got Andrew Whitworth, Man of the Year, getting ready to announce the Green Bay pick.
Is it just me, or does he look kind of like Albert?
He kind of does.
That's another wrestling reference for our wrestling following.
Robert Haley wants to know if you're okay.
Yes. What's that?
You were zoned the hell out.
I'm focused on Andrew Whitworth. See what he is.
Okay, the facial hair is a little bit different than A-Train's was. And I'm willing to bet his back is not as hairy.
I was going to say his facial hair is only different because he shaved underneath it.
Packers pick is in.
No spoiler.
Yeah, he's giving a little bit of a speech right now.
Oh, because this is the Walter Payton Man of the Year, so he's probably giving his acceptance speech. I would like to thank you, not you, and you.
And Randy, and we haven't talked about where this is at. It looks like it's right next to the link where they have this set up for draft. So, I mean, it's right on the strip.
Yeah, it's right on the strip. It's
My
right
guess,
on whatever that big lake with the fountains and stuff is.
Bellagio.
Yeah.
Yep. My guess
they literally have a side stage on the water.
My guess is they shut down the Vegas Strip for this draft.
Oh, of course they did.
And the Packers selection is being announced by Goodell now. Boo! Just, tradition.
Wow, no wide receiver. The streak continues.
Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia.
Huh. Okay, so from State Farm to Jeopardy, how mad is Aaron Rodgers right now?
Jeopardy. He's off to Jeopardy. He's gone.
Erik, bold prediction. You ready?
Ready.
Packers trade for Deebo Samuel.
I could see that happening.
I don't know if San Francisco would move him in conference, and they've already got rid of all their first-round picks, so now the value is farther down.
It could be a first-rounder next year.
Haley with the face palm right over Harry's face.
That's okay. Nobody wants to see this anyway. There's a reason I usually do audio podcasts.
Oh, Patriots pick is already in.
All right. What does the evil empire and Belichick have?
You ready? You ready? I'm going to call it right now. Bill Belichick picked some kid from a D3 school, and in 3 years, he's an NFL All-Pro. Because that's what Belichick does.
Either that or lacrosse player who turned to football.
Let's see. Christian Watson from North Dakota State, wide receiver.
Check the chat, Randy.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Feels okay. I was just confirmed that I cannot buy the senior producer for W to him because we are live on Twitch currently.
Yeah, Twitch is even more.
This is why we have network standards and practices. And
say it and it shall appear. Basically, so that I will use the more PG term for this and call it trade fleecing instead.
There you go. That's a good one. Now we're hitting the commercials after every pick. This draft has gone by too quickly. They have to catch up on all the commercials they sold.
ESPN has to find a way to extend this to midnight Eastern.
Well, ESPN has to find a way to get the money to pay for what they're doing with the college football playoff.
They were only scheduled until 8:30 according to ESPN on Dish Network and
11:30
Direct TV. So that would be 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern.
Thank you. East Coast, best coast. Thank you.
But I guarantee you they have like 3 hours of SportsCenter dialed up after that just to cover it.
Oh, yeah. And it's like they can just cut the Sports Center. I mean, again, absolutely true. Right from our senior producer.
They can
talk about this for all the overnights.
So, Randy, I actually just looked at that link also. That is a sick fall.
Yeah. He actually got lucky he spun around fast enough.
All right, I have to go take a look at this because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, go look at it.
Be forewarned. Be ready on the bleep button just in case, Randy.
Here,
Wait, we have an actual bleep button?
Here, I'll mute you, and then you just wave at me when you've seen it. As you've unmuted yours. There you go. So New England on the clock. Obviously, last year they took Mac Jones. N'Keal Harry back in 2019. That pick hasn't really worked out super well for them. Erik, where do you think they go here?
I mean, I honestly don't even think necessarily wide receiver because, as we've seen, Belichick doesn't really have a penchant for finding good offensive players. He may go ahead and find some defensive steal that we don't necessarily know about. As I'm being screamed at that my suspicions were confirmed that we don't have a bleep button.
we have you guys haven't bought that yet?
No. Normally we don't need one question mark.
What was it? Was it Staples, right? They had that was easy. I'm sure they have one that just makes the beeping noise. I mean, I get it. You guys are more adult oriented on your show than us, but
as an understatement.
Yeah, especially on Sundays.
It's me. When I run shows, things happen. And if you want to know what, tune in on the W2M network, The Point of Viewer, Sunday nights at about 11 Eastern until question marks.
So, Randy, let's talk for a second. New England had the 21st pick.
Yeah.
Our pick that we had talked about in our draft pick is still there in that spot. Do you think they take the other edge rusher from Michigan?
Ojabo?
Yeah.
It's possible. It'd be nice to get one right. We haven't gotten very many right. Harry, did you watch it?
It's a good thing you bleep me.
It's scary, right?
There was a 3-word phrase. The first part of it was Jesus. You can do the math on the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
It just popped up on my Twitter feed while I was looking at different trades and stuff. I was like, oh my.
He not only fell out of the ring, he basically backflipped out of the ring. God, best wishes to Bobby Lashley. Hopefully he is A-okay after that. Good God, that looked awful.
Yeah, the tweet definitely said he was. Haley had sent me a video earlier of a golfer taking a swing around a tree, and a fan was like leaning around the tree to watch him and got his hat knocked off. That one was pretty scary too. All right, and here comes Goodell.
And to answer standards and practices, that's why I had Randy bleep me instead, so that way we didn't have to worry about you having to bleep me.
Son of a...
See? Oh, I see. I was wrong as far as it wasn't being a defensive standout, but I told you he wasn't going to go wide receiver. This is actually a good pick for something in the trenches. I like this.
Dude, it's
very Belichickian.
That ruins my system.
What did I just tell you? What did I just tell you?
Bill Belichick did it to you.
What did I just tell you, Randy? It's going to be some unknown kid from FCS or D2 that's going to be an NFL All-Pro in 3 years.
Gosh, darn it.
So we have not said the name yet. Cole Strange, offensive lineman from Chattanooga is the pick for the New England Patriots.
The obvious joke is obvious. What a strange pick.
Go Mox.
I'm so mad. I almost made it, man.
I'm pissed.
He was a 77th overall ranked player. I wasn't going that far down my list. Damn it. So close. All right, Kansas City's pick is in.
Make a special card for him. Go ahead, show him on screen at least.
You also got a monkey, by the way. Congratulations.
One isn't intended, but because it was the obvious joke. But thank you. For those of you here on the
already in and they're already going. Holy crap!
For those of you on the R&R feed, the monkey is basically a rim shot to punctuate the joke over on W2M.
I guess the Chiefs are like, no, we're sticking to this. Ooh.
That's a good pick, too.
George Karlaftis, defensive end, Purdue. This is the kid that was from Canada, right?
Maybe.
And that was he had like a big write-up on ESPN. He was
Canada. Going 24th.
He just started playing football a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that on ESPN.
See, la ronde est tardif, now es un ami.
Yeah, what he said.
Really? Nothing? Oh, okay.
You speak French regularly, Erik. It doesn't faze me anymore.
Well, I mean, it's only for certain situations that I bust
Quebecois. Bengals pick is in.
They're going quick. I thought Cincinnati would trade out of this, but
well, the reason I say that is because apparently we have the NFL draft chime set up over on W2M.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We
did that last year, but
our producer did it big apparently.
Yeah, it could have been nice to show up on time and set it up on both of them.
Look again, groceries, roosters. A lot of stuff happened. I'll explain in full detail on Point of Viewer.
Erik was too busy being cocky.
You're trying to break my record.
Maybe.
It's a longer show.
It is. And I just got a fourth monkey. Can you believe we're down? Can you believe we're down to the last two picks already? Holy hell.
The Bengals, their pick
it's already in.
Yeah, the Bengals pick is in, and then it's just Minnesota who got this pick in a trade with
Detroit,
who got it from the Rams. In the Stafford trade.
Yep. Still only one quarterback off the board.
Like I said.
Not that he's going here.
It's not going to be Cincinnati. Maybe Minnesota. I could see Malik Willis going to Minnesota. Back up Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Minnesota wouldn't be a terrible spot. How many years left does Cousins have?
Didn't he just sign a new deal?
Yeah, wasn't it like a 1 year fully guaranteed extension?
Yeah, 1 year for like $40 million or something. But like only like 16 or 17 of that counts against the cap because a lot of it's like a signing bonus or whatever. We want to thank our emergency goalie as well for his fine job helping out over on the W2M network feed. In addition, we thank you guys for watching as well here on the R&R Sports Report feed on Facebook. Harry Broadhurst, Erik Watkins to my immediate right. Above me is Randy Isbell. Next to him is Robert Hagan, who is apparently falling asleep on us. Or it just looks like he's falling. He's muted, that's for sure.
He does that all the time.
I am watching, trying to see where we might go with this next pick that Cincinnati may or may not go with. I've been striking out from our I took a copy of our last mock draft, and I've been striking out who is gone, who is still in that Randy and I took over on Monday, and some of the names that are still sitting there, kind of shocking. I think one of the bigger ones is Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. I am still shocked he is sitting there. Also, you look at the other edge guy, Ojabo from Michigan. Those two names kind of stick out a little bit.
I would say the name that sticks out to me is Nakobe Dean from Georgia.
Yeah, he's there too.
Mm-hmm. Or Daxton Hill. Sorry about that, Robert. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. If you want to say one more Georgia name there, I mean, you got Lewis Sign there too, the safety from Georgia.
Also, just so you guys know, the streak most likely does continue unless Green Bay somehow shockingly trades with Minnesota. The Packers have now not used a first-round pick on a wide receiver for, do you know how many years?
15.
Anybody else want to throw a guess?
I was gonna say closer to like 6.
Robert?
Give me 8. I'm gonna go with 8.
20 years since the Packers used a first-round pick.
Price is Right rules. I win.
Unless somehow they trade with the Vikings.
A reminder that you can check out Life is Like a Game Show, a presentation of the W2M Network.
So obviously just 2 picks left here in the first round. I have to go back and look at even what the second round looks like now with all of the trades that we have had. But thoughts on your teams going forward?
I'll go first here. Nervous. Kyer Elam, despite the fact that he's a Florida Gator, and it's great to be a Florida Gator. Don't necessarily know that cornerback was a huge position in need for Buffalo. To be fair, though, when you've come as close as we've come the last 2 seasons, conference semifinalists, conference finalists 2 years ago, I don't necessarily know, sorry about that. I don't necessarily know that we're that far away from taking that next step anyways. So it's just going to be for Buffalo, I think this year, the Elam thing, it'll be interesting to see what happens if he can hold down the fort in Tre'Davious White's absence. But the big thing for Buffalo this year is going to be staying healthy and not having to play a ton of these younger players this year, because the entire roster, top to bottom in Buffalo, is Super Bowl caliber.
There's Chris Picard talking about Seattle staying and picking across. I figured Seahawks fans would be okay with that.
Erik, let's go to you for your thoughts on the 2 Jaguar picks.
I was honestly surprised at that second first-round pick, but overall, we're basically saying, all right, Peterson, this is what you've got. You're getting Etienne back. How do you want to mold this offensive system? And at times to where if indeed we're going to get some struggles, we're saying, okay, we're investing on the defensive side of the ball even more. And with these 2 picks, in some ways, I'm good with that. Will it keep us out of the basement in the AFC South? I hope, but I'm not putting any chips in on
Houston's still there.
The preseason.
Yeah, I was going to say Houston's garbage, and I'd argue Tennessee's taken a huge step back this offseason.
Yeah,
as well.
You say Houston's garbage, yet week 1 of 2021, look what happened, okay?
All right,
Pick is in. Pick is in, and then we'll go to Robert with his thoughts on the Ravens.
Daxton Hill, safety. Do I have him? I don't have him. No, yeah, I do. Okay, there he is.
You definitely have Daxton Hill. He was like 17 or 18.
I got confused, but I had a couple Halls, and I didn't see Daxton, but it was Halls, not Hills. There you go. Hey, there you go. Somebody want to read the stats so you can get all excited?
6 foot tall, 192-pound junior out of Michigan. He is a safety. 2021 season stats, 3 interceptions.
Thank you.
Oh, and 69 tackles.
Nice.
So
okay.
Jacksonville, before we get to Robert, Jacksonville now with that trade does not have a pick in the second round, but they have 2 of the first 6 picks in the third round.
I'm good with that. I'm really good with that.
Tampa Bay will pick first in the second round tomorrow.
Minnesota's pick is in, so we will not have our 10th trade of the first round.
Robert, let's go to you with your thoughts on Baltimore's first round.
I figured we would go line an edge rusher, but I'm not disappointed one bit picking up Kyle Hamilton. I think that's a good pick. Another offensive lineman is a good move to help try to move the pocket as you see more of the college game happening for Baltimore and there. So excited to see what happens there. Still in a bit of shock with the movement of Hollywood Brown going to Arizona. So I looked for Baltimore to shore up a little bit more in the defensive backfield and probably draft another receiver.
For Baltimore, they have the 13th pick in round 2 tomorrow, the 12th pick in the 3rd round. And then you guys have 6 picks in the 4th round. I have a feeling you will be moving them around somewhere. 6 picks.
Got to be
a 36 pick stretch.
I would imagine
31 pick stretch.
I would imagine that at least 2 or 3 of those are going to get bundled together to move up into the 2nd or 3rd round.
You got to think so.
All right, Randy, you're the last one that hasn't commented here. What are your overall perspectives on your Jets first round here?
Jets won the draft.
He got the sauce.
We got the sauce. We got Wilson to Wilson connection. And Jermaine Johnson, who I thought was probably going to be a top 10 pick, we had dropped down to 14 to Robert. Somehow the Jets get him at 26. I can't be more happy than what they have done so far. Still have the 6th pick tomorrow in the 2nd round. We got a 3rd and a couple 4s and stuff. So still some pieces to be moved. But
the W2M producer is officially quoting Chris Berman.
Now not even quoting. Yeah, just saying, going to the Super Bowl.
We're not, but the Jets won the 1st round of the draft. Hands down, no one close.
The question will be how will you follow it up over the next 2 days?
And how will it relate to the actual football field?
Well, that's easy. You guys are still going to suck. But
suck-ish.
So we're giving you an ish as an out? Is that what's going on here?
Honestly, 7 and 10-ish, 6 and 11-ish.
Yeah, I said that last year about the Jaguars, and look where that got me.
Well, we all knew you were reaching. Again, it's like everyone freaked out that it was like Jacksonville got Trevor Lawrence. They were going to be instantly good.
I think I'm pretty sure I gave Erik 4 wins last year, and even I was too high.
Unfortunately.
The Vikings pick is in. The last pick of the 1st round. Erik might have to step away to help out Watkins for a second.
Nope, it's just a matter of passing the remote.
Aha. Hi, Mama Watkins.
What? It's just so Harry says hi. All you say is how?
What kind of outfit is that?
Star Wars Viking.
Yeah, that's Boba Fett, the Mandalorian helmet with the Vikings style.
And he's going to remove his helmet and reveal himself as a
What the hell outfit is that?
Welcome to the word skull.
See, this is the kind of shit you do when Kirk Cousins is your quarterback.
Well, I mean, that's why he's been their quarterback for as long as he has been.
Harry, I think you'll appreciate this. I think the NFL needs to change up the way they do this draft. They need to do it as I'm not a big AEW fan, and especially because they use it way too much. But to announce the picks, they just need the whole thing to go black and then come back and the guy's there.
And then Tony Khan has a huge announcement.
Yeah. All right, here's the last pick of the 1st round.
He did actually have a huge announcement at number 1 overall, though.
Lewis Sign is the last pick.
Safety, Georgia, again with the Bulldogs. And that's a wrap, folks. That'll be all of your 1st round here for the 2022 NFL Draft.
Altogether, that was pretty nice and tidy.
3 hours, 36 minutes for the official run time from start of program to 1st pick. Actual 1st pick to last pick would be somewhere around 3 hours and 15 minutes, which might be the most expeditious it's been in years.
So
Yeah,
basically,
really
you're saying
fast
half
for
of the
90.
land speed record. Got it.
Yeah.
Noted. Yes, absolutely. Whatever you do, folks. Well, I guess technically now that it's being split into 3 parts, you can go check out Point of Viewer. Viewer of discretion advised.
For sure. All right. So obviously, I have already said that the New York Jets have won the first round. I'll let you guys look over this first round now. Give me your winner and your loser. I'll let whoever is ready to go first.
I hate to admit it, but I think Randy's right. The best draft so far has got to belong to the Jets.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I'd be 100% if I'd be lying to you if it wasn't. So, some smart moves made by the front office there in New York.
I mean, once again, as you said, once you got the change at the very top with ownership and everything, that's filtered down to general manager. And wouldn't you know, there's a competent team playing in New Jersey.
I'll also give a shout to Detroit, getting Aiden Hutchinson to drop into their lap at 2, moving up, getting Jameson Williams. Very, very good wide receiver. He's going to be out for the beginning part of the year, but they're not going to contend this year. I think good cornerstones for their team.
Let me throw out another name as well, because we were talking about it. We had fun with Zach about this, but I stand by it here. I think Pittsburgh made a very wise decision getting Kenny Pickett. Pickett's going to be one of those players that has NFL star potential, and playing for his hometown team, you know that he is going to do absolutely everything in his power to bust his ass and make it work for that franchise. Mitch Trubisky, look out. Your replacement has arrived.
How many times have I said Mazda Miatas do not fare well on Pittsburgh roads?
Also, winner in the draft, the Georgia Bulldogs. I believe there were 5 of them drafted in the first round.
6.
Walker, Davis, Quay Walker, Wyatt, and Sign.
And Jordan Davis.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, I said Davis. Jordan Davis.
Did you say Davis?
Yeah.
I could have sworn there were 6 Bulldogs. Overall, the SEC dominates the first round of the NFL draft once again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trayvon Walker went first to Jacksonville. Jordan Davis went 13th to Philadelphia. Quay Walker went 22nd to Green Bay. Devontae Wyatt went to number 28, also to Green Bay. And then Lewis Sign there at the end at 32 to Minnesota. Do we have a loser so far in the first round?
I think there's got to be a couple of them, and I'm going to say it. Host city, Las Vegas, not making any kind of move there to try to do something. Yes, we know where they had picks scattered out through the next couple rounds, but you would have strangely they should have made some kind of movement over the evening, and that did not happen.
I have another winner and a loser, and they're regarded to the same. They're regarded to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the idea for what Tennessee did, trading away A.J. Brown, but I think it was a mistake. And the reason I think it was a mistake is they're losing Julio already. That's pretty much established. All of the onus is going to fall on Derrick Henry now with a very young wide receiving core. And a advanced in age Ryan Tannehill having to run the show with an inexperienced receiving core. And I think in that extent there, even though they traded out of the first round to do it, what a huge pickup for Philadelphia with A.J. Brown going to help Jalen Hurts and Jalen Reagor up in their wide receiving core.
So here's my thought. So with trading A.J. Brown and basically then drafting his replacement in Treylon Burks, they do have the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. Do they draft the Liberty kid?
I think they do.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, yeah.
Yeah. I think they draft him especially because, and I mentioned this key in the first round, when you have a 2nd round pick, you don't necessarily have to have that 5th-year option. So if you know that Tannehill isn't going to work, you still have those couple solid years. And if it doesn't work with Willis, you're not necessarily hamstrung for the intermediate future. But I am honestly going to disagree with one of Robert's takes because you get that you would want your host city to have a 1st-round pick, and especially with the glitz and glamour of Vegas. But if you really think about it, with the kind of flux that the Raiders front office has been in, I really think that they did well not to go into the first round. So that way they have this extra day and they can get even more of the spotlight come days 2 and 3.
Yeah, and they did a lot of their movement
Early, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
go ahead, Erik. Oh,
I would also make the argument too that this NFL draft class. Can you hear me?
okay, you are delayed again.
Am I good?
You're delayed. But you'll hear that.
Slightly robotic. We're getting a little bit of the spectrum kicking in. Okay,
Well,
now you're completely frozen.
Yeah, well, Harry fixes that. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the Giants draft.
All right, be right back.
With Thibodeau and Neal.
Mostly a thumbs up because they're sending the right message. When you get, some key positions in and all of everything was surrounded by, all right, how are they going to handle Daniel Jones? Well, it's like, okay, now you know how they're going to handle Jones because they've got pieces without him that they can bring in another quarterback and be just fine.
Robert?
Yeah, 100%. I think that you've hit that one right on the head. So, anybody else getting a hiss in there? I mean, I'm getting weird noise in my hearing.
No, it's all you. It's your hearing aid.
Can you guys hear me?
Is.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right. Back to what I was saying about Vegas. I would argue that there are no generational talents in this draft. There are people that have star potential. There are people that have Pro Bowl potential. There are people that, if they develop correctly, could become long-term NFL players and potentially find their busts up in Canton at some point. But I wouldn't argue that there is one or two particular talents in this draft. What you look at him and you say, can't miss prospect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really do kind of agree with that because with everybody was saying you have strengths on certain sides of the ball. But again, it's not like someone who had a year's worth of hype, 2 years worth of hype. I mean, really, the closest one you would have for this particular draft class is Aiden Hutchinson, but only came on the scene really throughout the season as everything, the kind of fairy tale with Michigan progressed, and that all fell into place. Aside from that, it's not, like Harry just said, you don't have the guy that's being spoken about for all this time.
So let me throw this out, and this is just a thought for first pick tomorrow, as Tampa Bay has the very first pick. What do they do to help Tom Brady out?
Is it weird that I think that they may end up being the team to take Malik Willis as potentially Brady's replacement in a year or two?
Maybe, but then you've also got what they've got in their quarterback situation already. They were kind of already planning for that, and if they didn't like what they saw in Brady's replacement, then they would have. And again, that depends now that Raheem Morris is in charge. You don't have Arians on the sidelines anymore. So I think they do go offense, maybe another less heralded wide receiver because of their issues at that position, but I don't see them taking Willis.
Yeah, I don't see a running back just because of Fournette recently re-signing with them. So I don't imagine that the running back would be the way to go. Maybe some offensive line help. I'm not sure.
When do you think we see our first running back?
Mid-second round, probably. Even though it is
I'd say later in the second round. Yeah.
Just because some team is going to take a chance on a running back, just because that's what teams do in the draft, especially. Mm-hmm. Because we've seen it time after time that if there's one position that is almost always overvalued in the NFL draft, it's running back.
Yeah, I agree, but I say even later in the second round because you have teams that take a chance, but what really running backs are out there?
I was just about to ask Randy that question if he has ESPN up still, if he could check to see who the top ranked running backs are.
I already know. It's Kenneth Walker and it's Breece Hall.
All right, let me
pull him up real quick. So
let me pull
Breece Hall from Iowa State, and
here's Breece Hall
Kenneth Walker.
According to ESPN.com on their draft casts, there were obviously no. I went best available. No wonder I went to the wrong spot on there. Give me a second.
I got it right here.
Well, yeah, but I'm pulling up the ESPN stuff too. Breece Hall is the number one ranked running back on ESPN, actually, so it's appropriate that you pulled him up. Kenneth Walker, the third out of Michigan State, James Cook out of Georgia, Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M, Brian Robinson Jr., Alabama, and then the one that I will be most interested to see where he goes, Damian Pierce out of U of F.
He'll go to Buffalo too.
University of Florida. You know what? I would not hate that. It's all Gators all the time, this draft. Maybe a couple of Nittany Lions mixed in too, just for shiggles.
All right, Harry, close us out.
All right. I believe that before we get off of the air over on the W2M network, we have what would have aired as our intro video. Our executive producer put something together, and we want to make sure that you guys get to see it because having seen what he does for Life is Like a Game Show before, it's sure to be phenomenal. He does fantastic video work for this kind of stuff here. But for those of you watching on the R&R Sports Report feed, we thank you very much for joining us for this edition, a special edition of the Sports Reporters, the draft special here on the R&R Sports Report and the W2M network. Randy, where can people find the show online and on terrestrial where you guys are?
Yeah, come find it at the R&R Sports Report, Facebook and YouTube. For the most part, you can find us on klcz.com, and for now, KLCZ 88.9 FM in Lewiston, Idaho, and the small surrounding areas. We'll be back to our normal show Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. next week, and then after that, follow Facebook because the NAIA opening round and World Series are going to hit, and we're just going to have to play it by ear.
6 to 8 Pacific, 9 to 11 Eastern, 4 to 6 Hawaiian.
I was just about to do that, Erik. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Where can people find you on socials, Randy?
You can find me at Randy Isbell on Twitter. Nothing happens there.
Unless we call you out for certain brackets.
It's true.
Robert Hagan, where can people find you online?
Also find us at our Facebook page, our Facebook page, also our YouTube channel, and RH Voice of the Bantams on Twitter.
Erik, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Squid Sports Head. W2M Network viewers, you know the deal.
I was just about to say family show.
Right. Don't go through the whole list, please.
Look, I have some level of decorum when necessary. Give me some credit.
At HEB the Eagle, pretty much everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Yahoo. Although hate mail does go to s.garmer@gmail.com, as has been established. In addition, you can find our incredible, outstanding producer at The Andesian over on Twitter. Send all business inquiries to him at The Andesian as well. There you go. Get off my ass. Anyways. So for this special edition of the Sports Reporters, the draft, for Randy Isbell, Robert Hagan, and Erik Watkins, I am Harry Broadhurst. This has been a presentation of the W2M Network online at W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can find us on all of your favorite audio and video podcast services: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbean, Castbox, Overcast. Rate and review us 5 stars on Spotify. Check us out on Discord, link available in the show description, or it will be by the time you see this in replay. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, everywhere but Twitch is W2M Network. Twitch is W2M Net. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we look forward to the next 2 days of the draft and following along just as fans rather than actual commentators. This has been the Sports Reporters, the Draft Special, a presentation of KLCZ's R&R Sports Report and the W2M Network. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for all the help, Brian.